going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 221. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero,
What up, what up, what up?
Brett Murdoch,
I'd like to thank Manny for reporting live and on scene from the Throwdown action van.
yes, Adam Vale,
What's up, peoples?
and from the action van, Mr. Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? I'm on a bus. I'm going home. But
Manny on the street.
Man, he's on the
on
street.
location.
So what's going out there? What's the word from the gamers on the street, man?
well, I'm doing some. As you've been paying attention to my Twitter, I've been doing quite a bit of work in New York City for the last few weeks. I'm going to be in New York again next week, so I'll be in tomorrow. So can't talk about what's going on, but it's just going to be pretty cool when I'm able to announce it officially.
Nice.
It'll be very interesting, to quote Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. All right, before we start, just a couple of things here. Remember, in case you guys didn't know, we are on the Discord, so we're trying to pump that out. We already got a bunch of you guys in the Discord having some interesting discussions, which is always a lot of fun, you know.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and now we have a permanent link. We kind of fucked up. We didn't realize that those links expire. So, yeah, just head over to our Twitter, and the pinned tweet is going to have the link for it. And over on my Twitter as well, there's going to be the pinned tweet. Links for all that shit. Just look down there, you know, all that. Carlos, anything you want to add about the Discord since you're the man running it?
No, other than it's been pretty fun, all the conversations we've had. A lot of people have been joining, so we really appreciate that.
Yeah, for real, man. Oh, man. Especially our lead topic for tonight. We got a lot of shit to talk about. But before that, we're going to deviate a little bit because I just heard some shocking news. Adam has canceled his pre-order for The Division 2.
I tried to cancel. They won't let me because it's a PSN. I tried to cancel it.
Okay, what's going on, man? What made you change your mind? Because The Division, that's your game right there, man.
Yeah, me and some of my D1 buddies were talking, and we had a long powwow yesterday. It was pretty long, at least 2-3 hours, and we really broke it down of the things that we like, what we don't like, what we experienced in the beta, what we're looking forward to, and then we just realized it's like, yo, it's the first game that we really like. Like everything that they're offering, it's more the same and some tweaks and some going back to broken features, but something about it doesn't feel right. And I'm sure over time, maybe it'll be a fun game and will be playing it, but I don't think it's going to dethrone my experience at D1, and I don't think I'm going to uninstall D1. And I think I'm going to stay on it. And it was funny because I was talking to my buddies and they're like, no, I'm passing on it. I'm going to stay on Division 1. I mean, I said, really? He's like, yeah. It's like, think about it. And yeah, you're right. It's like all the things that we enjoy, the atmosphere, the feel of it. It's so unique. And when we were running around in the Division 2 beta, it was fun and all, but it just didn't have that unique feel. Like I said while we were playing, I was like, I feel like I'm playing another either Ghost Recon Wildlands or just another regular we're somewhere in an open environment during the summer, just running through the streets through some kind of chaos. It didn't feel different. I don't know, something about it. The menu system is annoying. I just can't. I went back into it trying to they just have everything hidden and mumbled and jumbled. And yeah, as time goes on, you get used to it. But it's like, why did they change that? It wasn't broken. So I don't know. I'm just not overall. I'm just not excited for it. You know, that's the downfall. It's like I want to be excited for it, and after playing the beta, I don't feel it. I don't have that like wow, like I can't like with the first Division. I was so excited for that. I couldn't wait, and it came out, and I was living on it. I love it. I went back to it, got the platinum, just love, got the shields, doing everything fun. I just can't. For some reason, I just can't see myself doing that. I can't see myself putting the close to 400 hours if we add all the years together, playing it again on this one. Like, there's nothing motivating me to do it.
But no other game's gonna do that. So are you not gonna buy any other game?
No other. I don't know, because that was the discussion. It was like, what other multiplayer game is out there that you were looking forward to? The other one got canceled. Titanfall 3. That's not happening.
So, Adam, did you try Anthem? Were you one of the people that tried them, or did you?
No, I didn't try it. I didn't try it, and not by choice. I signed up for the beta thingy, and they never picked me for it. So I was like, all
It
right,
was
whatever.
it was an open beta. By the way.
Oh, see, there you go. So it wasn't open in my heart because I didn't bother going into it. See, so but who knows? Anything's possible. Those games usually go on sale within a week or two because no one buys EA games right off the bat like they used to. So we'll see. But man, believe me, I'm disappointed because I'm hyped. I mean, I was hyped for, but if I think back, remember when we first talked about this, I even said it was like I don't know about this one.
Shit,
Something.
The reason why I'm giving Division another shot is because you're the one that got me into it.
Yeah. Oh well, we should still be playing the Division, the first one, because all the things they fixed. Like I get it, there was a lot of issues, and then they fixed a lot of that. And yes, the beta was closed off, and they didn't have a lot, but it was just the menu and the experience and running around. And I don't know, I didn't have that enthusiasm. I didn't have that wow, I can't wait to see what's
You don't like
next.
Washington D.C., man.
I think that's what it is. I think
that was the other
you
issue.
up on the whole New York thing. I really think that's
but that was it.
No,
but I think, and I thought about that too. And it's not so much that; it's more of maybe that it's summertime and just the aesthetics. It just didn't have that that feel like the New York thing was cool and everything, but I think it was really the winter setting, the cold, the blizzard that especially at night, for example, when you play the first one, you had the snow, the light reflecting off the snow, and it just had this high contrast, weird, creepy, almost like a Sin City feel. And we don't have that in this one. In this one, we were running around and it turned dark. It was just dark. It was just nighttime, and we were just in some street shooting bitches, and that was it. And I was like, man, what's like to see these guys juice up the way they were? Remember the guys putting the needle in their head and getting put the little steroids and stuff? I'm like, something doesn't feel right. And then the robots and stuff. I don't know. I'll end up playing it. I'm still gonna play it. And I did try to see if I could cancel, because I was like, you know what, am I really gonna do this now? And I can't even cancel the pre-order. So,
I guess you're not getting that tattoo after all then.
I might still get it, but it's not for that reason. I'll probably get something written on the bottom, something representing
put some shit on your
year.
foot.
Like from no, I'll probably say from 2016 to 2019.
It'll be like
you just get like Division New York Division or something.
Yeah,
like that.
maybe something like that. We could put like a little Brooklyn Bridge in the background.
But dude, I've heard the same thing that for some reason, and I don't think it's just the New Yorkers here, because I know we have a panel of New Yorkers here, but I have heard the same thing. A lot of people saying that for some reason the Washington they built is not that interesting. And I've heard people say it's because, like, I don't know, I feel like I've done Washington with Fallout already. I've had people say it feels more like Metro. There's something special and iconic about a New York winter. And when they moved away from it, I think it just kind of made it more neutral, like all the other games.
Exactly. It just feels like so many other games. Like, think how many games have we played where it was in that type of environment, like a blizzard and a winter in an urban area and just chaos. There's nothing. We haven't played anything like that.
I mean, dude, Far Cry is doing a DLC that releases today that is based on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was the thing. I it's sad because I really wanted to get into this. And then the main guy, Marco Style, like this guy, I think I sent you his streamer, and this is the one that passed on a job that they offered him and stuff. And he's been preaching, not really preaching, but just explaining his issues with it, which were a lot of the issues that I'm experiencing, others that are really into it. And now people are telling him to stop streaming the game and to walk away, and they're like protesting for him to quit, and this whole thing. And he says, no, I like it, but I'm just not like really immersed in it. I don't see it yet. Maybe when the game's out and we get the full thing, but from what we've played and what we've seen, there's a lot of issues, and it just doesn't pull us in. It's not pulling us in like the first one did.
Do they need a revision?
Right? So it's and it's funny because the guy has like 280,000 subscribers, and they're like, oh, you're killing your channel, you're hating it. He's like, I'm being honest. If anything, you guys should appreciate my honesty. I'm not kissing their ass. I'm not saying, oh, it's the best game, tune in next week for another great, you know what I mean? He's just telling like it is, and he points out key elements. He's like, this is wrong, this doesn't feel right. Can you see yourself putting in hours and hours and hours in this menu system, in this environment? And I don't know if I could do that. I mean, we didn't see much. They put us on a straight and narrow. So who knows? Other areas might open up and look completely different. But remember, I had the same critique when we first saw it, where it was like, wow, it looks cool, but then it looks just like all the other Ubisoft Ghost Recon games where they're in those type of environments, sort of jungles, sort of rural type of thing. It's just.
By the way, I'll say this: the first game was like that at launch. I think your judgment was clouded because you were so enamored by the fact that it was in New York and that environment.
Man, no, I always remember that first trailer, even though it was all fixed up. But
the first trailer,
you have everybody
sick.
talking, and they were like, "All right, did you find this?" And they were going up and down through the streets and through the buildings, and then just the lighting effect and just everything covered in snow. That was awesome.
That trailer was ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. But when I started playing that game and I played it on PC, that shit was nothing on my PC. It was nothing like that.
I heard a lot of people said that was a known issue. A lot of people said that it didn't look exactly like it. And I didn't have that issue with it. It was mainly the gameplay. I enjoyed it. I had that. I loved all the Ghost Recon games. And for me, this is the modified version of Ghost Recon.
Brett, what happened?
I don't know, but I was going to ask a question. So I kind of need to address the elephant in the room, and I'm not trying to derail the conversation, but this is essentially the news that's going on right now. So we feel like we should make a nod to it. Division 2 versus Anthem. Okay, and this isn't a thing about Anthem, but here's the deal. There is so much cross interest in this game that the success of one depends on the failure of the other, or vice versa. They are essentially two open world looter shooters being released within 3 weeks of each other. And the big thing that's being talked about right now is if Anthem doesn't deliver, or if Division delivers a more compelling experience, that Anthem is dead in the water. If, however, Anthem does hook harder than the Division does, that's going to put Division in a very precarious place where it has to go for the long burn again. So I'm curious as to those of you who have played the Division and played Anthem, like, how do you think the dice are going to roll out? Because only one of these games is going to be a success now. There's a chance.
What if they both fail?
Or if they both succeed? I don't really buy into that narrative.
I don't buy into it because they're two different worlds.
Yeah, they're two different worlds. I think it's going to be for two different player bases.
I mean,
even though they're the same type of game, looter shooters, I think it's two different audiences. You know,
one is more realistic military base, which is the Division. The other one's more futuristic base. So if you're into military tactical shooters and you're into looting and that type of world, it's only the Division that's ever done something like that.
I don't think Division 1 was hurting Destiny. I think this is as disparate as those two.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're for two different audiences.
Cross interest though, like 90% of the people that I've talked to, they're interested in one, are at least interested in the other.
That's interesting because on my end, like if you're interested in Anthem, you don't give a fuck about Division, and vice versa. If you like Division, you're like, I don't give a fuck about Anthem.
Yeah. The only connection I've seen is just time. You know, how much time some people want to play both, and it was like, all right, which one do I have the actual time to invest in one of these two? That's it, pretty much. But
I mean,
I don't think the failure or success of one affects the other because their audiences are so different, you know, so separate. Go ahead, Carlos.
The Division 2 is not going to fail.
No, I don't think it's going to fail.
That's a given that it's going to be a success. Maybe it won't surpass whatever Ubisoft's expectations are, but it'll sell millions.
I don't think Anthem's going to fail either. I think that's going to be a big game too.
I agree. I don't think Anthem's going to fail either. It might do okay.
It might miss expectations.
It could.
Though.
Yeah. It could. Remember, Chris, I think we talked about this before. EA expected to sell 6 million within 6 weeks. You know,
that's a huge amount, and that's a month and a half.
Yeah,
right? They're not giving it 90 days. It's 45 days.
Yeah, that I don't buy. I'm like, you guys ain't selling no 6 million copies in fucking 6 weeks, bro. Get out of here. You know.
So it looks like I'll probably still play it. Guaranteed now I'll still play. I can't cancel the pre-order, but I just my hype, my enthusiasm for it.
You can hear that shit in your voice, man. Like you were like conflicted as fuck, man. Like you want to like it, but you don't, you know?
And that's what sucks because I want to be all in. I want to be hyped. I want to get excited. But after playing and putting all that time when we did the beta and running around and, you know, you guys are running. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I was stopping because I'm looking through the menu system and moving things around and the gear and just trying to break things down. I'm like, it feels like more of the same. Something about it doesn't, and then the interface just doesn't feel great. If maybe that was different, or I don't know, something felt off. So
I don't know. Honestly, I don't. The Division 1 came out 2 years ago. I don't know why you were expecting anything completely different.
No, because they made so many changes. The Division 1 now is not the same that from the one that was released back in 2016.
They redid all the system. They redid the way that armor worked, and the way that health worked.
Everything.
The way that health worked apparently was they had armor and health mitigation, where it basically meant that your health, there was a weird slow power creep that, bullets did more damage, and so you had to have more health stacking up, and you ended up with this weird Super Saiyan kind of thing where somebody could take 100 assault rounds to the face and not drop, and then kill your whole team with one shotgun blast because their damage scaled. And so they had to actually take that out and reduce it with a new armor mechanic instead of beefing up the basic health, which helped to even things out and give a more level power expansion kind of thing. It was basic fundamental things like that. But the problem is those basic fundamental things changed the way that the game feels in unexpected ways.
Well, yeah, since launch, 2 years ago, the game launched. And between that time and now, they have done a lot of stuff to change the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're obviously going to keep that stuff down.
No, they had to undo all.
They added, and then some of it, though, that was one of the things, I don't know if I told you, but it turns out that the build that they're using on this one, at least what we've seen in the beta, is actually a clean build without all the patches, without all the fixes. And that was pointed out in some videos where there was issues that we had in the first Division that got patched have come back. So the patches have been removed. So it wasn't here's a patched up version. We did all the fixings and now we're building on top of that. No, this is one that removed all of that. So shooting between walls, disappearing weapons, little things like that, they're all back. And that was stuff that they had fixed.
Hey man, I just want to say something. I appreciate Adam's come forwardness with if that's a word about this game.
Forwardness.
Because if this was Call of Duty, it would have taken a fucking decade to say this shit.
Damn. Oh,
man.
Because
fucking Call of Duty, no one called that shit out.
Dude, I was going to say the same thing. Apparently, I've been on mute. Adam, congratulations, man, for being able to see beyond expectations or bias. That's something not a lot of gamers can do. So,
thanks. Well, they believe me. That's the thing. It was kind of hard because even everybody at my job, everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid now, and they thought I was crazy with the first Division. They were like, "Oh, he plays that whack ass game." Next, when they start hearing about this, they're getting all hyped. No, for real, everybody's hyped. Everybody's in a beta. Remember, I send you a text, Tony. I'm like, "Yo, I'm over here sharing, trying to get everybody beta codes to get in, and everybody's all thrilled, and they're running around playing it. Then they're all hyped, and they're like, "Yo, you can't wait for that." I'm like, "Yeah, I can wait because now I'm not thrilled." It's like this wasn't what I was expecting, but then again, it was a beta. They said that they know that there's a lot of issues and other things, concerns, and maybe if the menu system, because you got to think, that was something that we brought up while we were playing. They were like, "Oh, you spend a large majority of your time in the menu system just customizing your gear and resorting and doing it." And if you can't enjoy that part, then you're in the shitter, because a large majority of that game, especially in the end game, is doing that, prepping your loadouts for certain missions, and doing those type of things. And if you can't enjoy that part of the game, then this is not a fun game. This is not what you want to do. So, man, I mean, I really
March 15th is going to be interesting, man.
And it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, any last thoughts on this whole Division stuff?
I checked my calendar and it's not April 1st.
Oh shit! Yeah, right.
No, believe me, I had people that thought that was bullshitting. They're like, "No, man, you're full of shit. You're full of shit." But here's the other thing. I think I get it. Don't we get it like 3 days earlier than the 15th?
If you get the ultimate,
I have the ultimate, but I wasn't sure if that was the 15th. If that's what it was referring to as the 15th.
It just said 3 days before the launch or 3 days early. So now I'm glad I didn't get that. I was thinking about getting it because I'm like, oh, fucking Adam's gonna be all hyped and shit, and then Tony's probably gonna get it early. So I'm like, I thought about it and I'm like, nah, fuck, it's $100. I'm just gonna get the fucking regular one. And I'm fucking glad I did.
It's like flip flop here. Now people are excited for Anthem and no one wants to play Division 2.
Hey, by the way,
Actually,
you are correct, Chris, because okay, again, I should be the guy hyped for Anthem and not Division, but it's the other way around for me. Anthem, but yeah, I've already said it. Anthem is not what I want from BioWare, so I'm like, but yet the Division is what I wanted from that game, but better. Playing the Division, playing the Division for 10 minutes was more enjoyable to me than playing the entirety of that entire, Anthem thing. It was like, I don't.
Special case though, Tony.
Yeah.
Like you get in your own way because you're upset that BioWare. If you didn't know BioWare made this game, you might have a completely different opinion.
Maybe, but I'm being honest. That's not what I want from BioWare. So, on principle, I can't like that game. Yet the Division is doing exactly what I expected to. Like, I was having fun blasting shit. Like, I got to a point like, yeah, this is some Division as Division. This is fucking awesome. Like, to me, yeah, like, dude, getting behind cover popping motherfuckers is great. And they fixed the main problem I had with the first game. Like, I'm not shooting bums that have like infinite health. I'm shooting guys that are armored, which makes sense.
That comes back in the end game.
Yeah, and then
the bullet spongy comes back.
But as long as you have armor on, I don't care. I don't want to be shooting bums like that. Like, bro, how are you taking this much damage? You got a fucking shirt on. That was my big problem with the game. And then, like I said before, I'm glad this game's not New York. I'm tired. I know I'm a New Yorker. I'm tired of video games set in New York. I want to play somewhere else. So like the Washington setting, summer, way more appealing than the other one. It's boring.
Dude,
Fuck
Washington
New York.
is the second most overused setting. Come on.
I've never name me a video game that I've played that is set in Washington. 4. That's not Washington, is it?
It was Washington, then they went to Boston.
Washington D.C. Fallout 3.
Fallout 3. Okay, that's one game in like 10 years ago that I played, dude. Come on. Like, yet I play a New York game every other year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they all take place in Manhattan. Why don't they put it in Queens?
It was a few Call of Duty. Call of Duty that was there, and it's not even the issue
played out.
The location.
It's played out to me,
Just the feel, just something I don't know. And maybe if it was still winter, because it does have the Christmas light, so winter it was sort of still part of it.
So
whatever,
I just want to.
And I don't like, and I also don't like snow. Fuck snow, Anyway, go on, Carlos.
I just want to let Adam know. Screw you, bro, for topping me. Because remember when we were streaming, I said I got some controversial shit to say when I said Anthem was better than fucking the Division 2. Now Adam just topped me.
He did.
I'll take that one, Carlos. Oh,
All right, man. Let's get into our stories here, man. This is what I love about Throwdown, man. You never know where the show's gonna go. All right, so the first one we got to talk about this. Even though none of us have played the game, we need to talk about the critical reception to Crackdown 3. It's pretty much what we expected, man. It is getting panned. What is it on Metacritic now? 66 or something? Like, no one's liking this fucking game.
No, what's funny? I'm seeing the total opposite, though. People like at least one part. They like the regular game, the campaign and the co-op, but they don't like the multiplayer.
Interesting.
They're saying that the main game feels just like the original Crackdown because you get to run around with your buddies. Really, nothing's changed, where you're just running around shooting, getting the different bosses and liberating those areas, and that's it. But they did take away the fun part with the vehicles. If you guys remember first Crackdown, when you would upgrade and you would get in your vehicle, it would transform like a transformer as you get in. Because when you're upgrading your vehicle, it doesn't do that, and now you have to get a different vehicle.
Wait, hold on. It's a Metacritic 60 now. Seriously?
Yeah. So you know how I figured it out?
How?
I saw a tweet by Zooge.
Yeah.
And he's like, sure, it's disappointing that Crackdown 3 doesn't hit 60 FPS on Xbox One X, but at least it hit a 60 here.
Oh, shit.
But also, it hasn't officially come out. Like, all the videos that I've seen, people have been getting it in Manhattan. They've gone to Chinatown and they have a copy, or people that are breaking the embargo. So when it gets out, let's see. But from what people that do have their copy said, hey, look, it's fun for this part, but the multiplayer, it's special. And overall, it's not a huge improvement. It doesn't look like whatever everybody thought it was going to look like. It looks like a 360 upgrade.
Yeah, I have a question because I'm confused. And Carlos, maybe you could answer this. Because I was downloading the game today for PC, and the multiplayer and campaign are two separate downloads.
2 parts. Yep, 2 separate things.
I was confused too. I don't know because I saw it download and it said campaign, and I'm like, what? It only comes with. There's no multiplayer in this shit. And then I asked on the shout out to the Discord. I asked like, where's the multiplayer? And it's like, I think we talked about it. It's like, what's that name?
Wrecking Zone.
Wrecking Zone. I think that's the multiplayer.
Yeah, yeah. When I was downloading it, it said Crackdown 3 campaign Wrecking Zone. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting here.
2 separate downloads.
Yeah, I got 3 downloads at the same time when I was doing that shit. I don't know, man. It's weird. But
such a good idea, so poorly executed.
Yeah, Brett, have you seen any coverage? Yeah, have you seen?
Yeah, dude, I've seen a lot of it, and like, it's weird because you'd think that looking at this game, you're like, dude, Brett would totally be into this game, but then I look at it, I'm like, dude, this game is hot garbage. I mean, I get the appeal and I get the idea, but it's like, okay, so you did what Just Cause is doing, and you're doing this weird multi-tiered sci-fi arena so you can collapse bridges on people. Like, don't get me wrong, there is nobody who wants to collapse bridges on other people as much as I do. And I get the fact that you can't destroy a whole area and then have it magically rebuild itself unless you do it in some sort of matches. But it's stupid, and it works stupid, and it feels stupid. And from what I've seen, I have not played it. Maybe I would get in there and be like, this is amazing. But for the most part, it seems like, you've isolated and distilled this down too much. And now you're just like, look up a bunch of things you can topple. And like, yeah, you're putting us in a typical arena environment, which means that for the most part, collapsing buildings isn't really going to be the best way to fight people. Like, you're not balancing it right. And I realize it might be a new element because there's not a lot of stuff that does this. So I'm trying to give him a pass on the sense of like,
you're all super. That's the other thing. You're all super when you're playing against. So even if shit collapses or if you shoot something, the walkway from under someone, when they fall down, it's not like they're gonna die from it.
Yeah,
they'll just bounce just like you bounce.
Hey, Brett, do you have Game Pass?
No, but
okay.
I could easily get it.
Yeah, okay.
If I chose to, if there was anything worth playing on there.
It's live now from Game Pass.
I downloaded this morning from Game Pass.
Everything on Xbox is live Game Pass. Oh, don't get me wrong. My Xbox really wants me to try it. Randomly turns on and says, "Please play me," and then I unplugged it because I got sick of doing that.
Yours does that too?
Yeah, I kept for I was like, is the cat touching the button? And then no, it just randomly comes on and went.
I think it's updates. Mine does that too. I think it's an update.
When Microsoft pushes updates, it turns on because like it'll randomly I'll be playing PlayStation or playing Switch. All of a sudden, I hear the jingle and it just turns on.
Okay, I thought that was my shit.
That thing is haunted.
It is haunted.
Update.
It's Don Matrick trying to come through, man.
Oh shit, Or you can just do what I do. I set it to whatever mode so it doesn't turn on. Like what the fuck is it called? Not startup. The other one. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about.
Power save.
I put it on power save because that shit was annoying me. But the problem is every time I turn on my Xbox, it takes 50 years to download all the updates. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Who the fuck was talking? Carlos?
Yeah. Game Pass is actually worth the price of admission.
It is.
It has so many games. Like you can get Forza Horizon 4. You can get We Happy Few, PUBG if you're into that. Mortal Kombat 10. Brett's favorite Ark. But
how are they selling Ark in? I'm sorry, I got to go off on a side tangent here. You did this, Carlos. You did this.
Bring that soapbox. Let's go.
How is Ark fucking on the Switch? It's not even released yet. It's not even released.
Well, it sort of looks unplayable on the Switch also.
Yeah,
so.
3 frames a second,
No, it has to be an unmitigated disaster on any console. And I'm wondering, how did you even clear? It's like getting NASA to clear you for a space flight when you've got 3 hobo barrels and an Easy Boy strapped together. How the fuck did you even launch this game? And then how did it get past? We have quality assurance with the consoles, don't we? I mean, I honestly, genuinely thought we had, at least Sony would be like, dude, this game is fucking broken. You can't release it. Now I'm questioning all my life beliefs because of fucking Ark. And I loved it, but holy shit, it's a shit show.
Yo, Brett, those days are over, man. Sony promoted Life of Black Tiger.
Oh, damn.
Those days are done, man.
So, and there's 2 other games that are there. Well, you already have them, but Sea of Thieves is on it, Absolver's on it, Ori's on it. So it has a lot of really good games. And
The Division is on it. Well, it was on it. They removed it.
Oh, damn.
Yo, Carlos, I kind of slightly have to disagree with you. I've had Game Pass since the end of November. I've never used that shit.
Because you have all the games already.
Well, that's also true.
If you didn't have all the games, this is an awesome deal. Because
I've never used that shit until now.
You know what you should do? Get the app. They have the Game Pass app on your for the phone, and then just leave it on with notifications. That thing is always dinging, just notifying you all the other third-party games that it's adding. Never tells you what it's removing, but it tells you all the stuff that it's adding. And there's always games being added. Like every
Gears
week.
of War 2 is on it.
I got that shit already, though.
But then even
it doesn't matter if you have that shit, Tony.
But it does matter because I don't have to download it then. You know what I'm saying?
The whole thing is also for some of the third-party games, it's having it on another console. So let's say if let's say if we want to play or Brett wants to play and you're like, oh, I have a PS4, but I would play for you, with you if it was available. Well, it's free here.
Yeah. So Tony, like if we have the discussion of is Game Pass a lucrative buy for a professional game reviewer who gets review copies of games of all the most popular games, the answer is going to be a pretty profound no, because any game that's big enough to land on Game Pass, you get for free. So it's not a good buy for you. I think the discussion we're having is more, is it a good buy for other people?
Yeah, like I was just saying for me, it's like, the fuck do I don't use this shit,
Dude, buying video games from Walmart isn't lucrative for you. Like
buying video games period isn't lucrative.
You get video games for free. There is no video game service that is going to be a bigger value for you. And if there was, that company would go out of business so fast.
Yeah, that is true. By the way, Carlos was like, Gears of War. I mean, I guess, but I don't know. For me personally, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But then again, PSN ain't giving me nothing either. So what am I going to do? Anyway,
Game Pass is way better than PSN. Like, they give constant, huge first party. Like, if it's a big Xbox game, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get it on Game Pass. Yeah. And that leads me to the question, are they going to do this next gen?
By the way,
PS Now, right? Is that what you're trying to refer to?
PS Now, yeah. But by the way, Glorious War keeps saying that PS Now has more downloadable games than Xbox Game Pass, but no one's talking about
it. The new one.
It doesn't have the PS3 games though. It's PS2 ones that you could download. You can't do the full download for the PS3.
Don't quote us on that. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote us on that.
Well, and also, that was the whole downfall of it. Well, not the downfall, but not one of the cool features is that you can't do the 3.
Every new Xbox exclusive coming out is coming out on that platform, and all the old 360 games, like let's say Saints Row 3 comes out or Gears of War 2 comes out, then you can get the game on that and play it on your Xbox One.
He says they got PS4 games on there you could download.
No, yeah, but we're talking about the actual download. They have it where you can do the streaming for it. I remember that was a whole big thing. They were like, well, we haven't perfected that feature yet. The 2s you can download fully. But yeah, for 4 and 3 games, you could stream all of them.
Yeah, Tony, tell me this.
Yeah.
The what you did with Sea of Thieves, played it on Game Pass, downloadable for free the day it released. Tell me a Sony game that's let you do that. Tell me a Sony game
you don't have that. No, no, I understand that. Like if you're like an Xbox guy, like getting games on day one essentially for free, kind of.
I would say just the opposite. If you're not an Xbox guy, if you're an Xbox guy, you probably have a lot of these games. But PlayStation Plus is a whole different thing in the sense that, like, great, you gave me a 2-year-old game. I constantly get 2-year-old games. So if I've never played some of this stuff, sure, it can be kind of a value, but it's always way behind everybody else. Game Pass
I see what you're saying.
Beast entirely. Game Pass lets you, like, you played Sea of Thieves without spending $60. That's cool.
Well, I don't think either Tony and I would have played Sea of Thieves or Crackdown if it wasn't for Game Pass.
I wouldn't touch those games. Yeah.
But you still got to play new games. You got to try new games for free.
Yeah,
and that's I'm not anybody else is doing.
Yeah, I'm not disparaging Game Pass. I always thought it was a good, thing. It's just for me, it really doesn't add too much value. But for everybody else, I totally understand. Because you get games the day they drop. That's pretty awesome. Think about it. Everybody who has Game Pass is getting Crackdown right now. That's pretty dope.
Dude, I thought I got to eat my crow here. I thought it was going to be a bullshit platform. I thought that the service was going to have so many limitations and so many exemptions that it was never going to be worth it. And I am absolutely shocked about the amount of value in video games that they are just literally fucking giving away.
It's because they want you to go toward it.
I know, and it's great. It's actually, it hasn't happened for a while. It seems one of those weird moves that game companies used to do to try and entice consumers by giving them stuff and being nice to them. Remember those days?
Okay. By the way, Glorious War says, Brett, you should compare PS Plus free games to Xbox Gold free games.
I would if PlayStation Plus had an equivalent to the Xbox Game Pass, but they don't, and so therefore the closest analog I agree. You are correct, though. That's the closest analog. I guess that would just change my argument then to PlayStation doesn't even have anything similar.
Well, yeah. I was like, the only cool thing with the Xbox with Gold is that now they're giving you the original Xbox games and 360 games, and so you get through all the ones, and plus the Xbox One games. So you're getting 3 gens.
It's kind of like PlayStation Plus if Vita were still viable.
Damn. Yeah, no more Vita games after next month, right, Manny?
Yeah, no more of that, and no more PS3 games.
So, okay, is Vita officially dead now?
Yeah. Not
third party.
God damn it, Tony!
They're not closing the store.
Damn it, you guys fucked up.
They can't close the store. People purchased it. That'll always be on it.
I was gonna say not in Riku's heart.
I don't think that. See, now that brings up a whole other thing. It's like, can you close the store? I mean, I can understand if you're not selling it, but you have to at least keep that running in the background. Maybe not for new purchases, but for if people want to re-download. I mean, the company didn't go out of business. Sony is still around.
They're not going to close the store. They're not. They'll keep it open for at least available for a few years yet. And it still has third party support. There's still games launching on the Vita.
Yeah, that is true. But Violet and Empathy's right. They did eventually close the Wii U and Wii stores, so I think it's just a matter of time.
Nintendo doesn't give a shit. Like the Wii U was dead before the Wii U came out. They closed the news channel before the Wii U came out. They started shutting shit off. Yeah. So that's how Nintendo plays. They wanted everyone to move over.
Has Microsoft closed down the 360?
No.
That's still active. That's
still active. Yeah. PS Glorious War says PS Now is the equivalent. They just don't Sony first party games day one because they sell millions at 60. Okay, that's a point right there. He's saying that they don't put their games day one because these games actually sell. He's saying Xbox games,
but
don't
also,
sell.
I think also it's unheard of. Like if somebody were to tell you before Microsoft did it that hey, Microsoft is going to do this. They're gonna every time they release a new game, they're gonna have it launch on their gaming streaming service same day. Well, why buy it? That makes no sense. Why would they do that? That'll never happen. And then they did it. Because I remember when it first happened, everybody thought it was just TFT, an exclusive. They're not exclusive. It for all.
Yo, Adam, you something like robot.
You're breaking up, man.
Anyway,
Adam's number team doesn't allow him to express passion about ideas.
Yeah. Anyway, any last thoughts on Crackdown 3? Me and Carlos are gonna probably play it for you guys tomorrow night. I would say more of us would play it, but I think there's only 2 co-op now. It used to be like 4-player, but they apparently slashed at the 2-player co-op.
Oh, but even that sucks.
Yeah. That's what I heard, at least, that they slashed the co-op.
And let's be honest, most people aren't going to be playing this game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. But
the power of the cloud.
By the way, somebody said this, and this was like, somebody said like, let me get this straight. You guys released Crackdown, but cancel Scalebound. Man, Microsoft taking them L's this fucking gen, man. I hope they turn things around. This shit is bad. Anyway, let's move on to some other bad things. We gotta talk this Activision shit, man. So Activision laid off almost 800 workers this week, and they had the gall to say, last year was our most profitable year ever.
Yeah.
Well, it was.
It
was because they got rid of a bunch of people.
Yeah, right? Shit. Oh, thank you, Honey's Gaming, for the raid. Appreciate that. Bobby Kotick, man. This guy's fucking, like... Anyway, Chris, what do you make of all this, man? This is crazy.
Well, it's some bullshit because here's the thing. Recently, Activision Blizzard got a new CFO. He, I think it's a month or two now. He got a $15 million signing bonus to start. Right? This is when they knew.
Hey, Manny, can you mute yourself? Manny, mute yourself. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
This is at a time when they knew they were going to have to they were missing expectations, so they planned to slash jobs. I got it. You could have saved more than half of those jobs if this guy said, hey, maybe don't take a bonus. I mean, I'm not saying, if these guys want to get paid or whatever, but you got to take some responsibility, like at the top. They're not taking any responsibility. They just, if they don't hit anything, they just blame the guys at the bottom and then just throw them out the door. So I think that's a shitty way to be. I don't think you should be giving out C-level bonuses at a time when you're planning to cut jobs. and you're saying you're making record profits this year, and you still cut that many people. That's a shameful act.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like apparently he made like $15 million bonus like last year. It's
just
like
to get hired, That's a signing bonus. Yeah.
that's insane. And apparently some of the people that were fired, some of them were working at there for like 14 years, 15 years. You know, it's crazy. But it just came off to me as like disgusting how during this literally the same day that you announce you fired all these people, you say, oh yeah, we had record breaking year last year. It's like, really? Damn. It's like
Yeah.
I
that.
don't care.
That's
they
the one
don't
thing
care.
I'll give Nintendo credit for. Like Iwata, like in 2 or 3 years of the Wii U, he took a pay cut. He slashed his salary in half every year to take responsibility for them not being successful, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's taking responsibility, right? Like he didn't have to do that. He could have been like, "Oh, we got to make cutbacks and whatnot." No, he said, I'm taking responsibility. I made the decisions. We fucked up. I'm taking the pay hit." So that's a huge step. That's a noble step. Bobby Kotick is like, "No, no, no. We're getting the bonuses. You guys can take a hike." You know that's a
What was it? They said that this was not their gaming department. This was like the back end. There's
well, I don't care.
marketing and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's what they said. They said
Yeah.
non game development departments.
Well, yeah, they don't look at calendar year 2019. They have nothing coming out. To slash that would be like cutting off your nose to spite your face. Like they they don't have anything releasing this year from Blizzard, right? So they can't cut those departments. But all the esports and shit's gone, all that stuff. But the esports was promoting your games, right? It was getting people in the Heroes of the Storm and Hearthstone, all that stuff. To cut that off, those games are essentially dead.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Don't they have the stupid Diablo game coming out this year?
Oh, the mobile game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. There's something.
I don't even count that shit.
Yeah, you know. Oh man, yeah, it's just a bad look. And apparently, this is only like 9% of their entire workforce. To try to say, oh, it wasn't that many. It's only 9%. It's like, yeah, but that's like 800 people. you know.
And was that just relegated to the Blizzard division? Because all the headlines say Activision.
No,
Blizzard.
it's across all of it.
Okay.
It was across all of it. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, like this is the shit a lot of people feared would happen when Blizzard got into bed with Activision.
Yeah, it's come to pass.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Like this like the gaming industry is like what it makes record profits. Like it's one of the most profitable markets like in the entertainment industry. But the job market there is it's just volatile. Like it's like you can lose your job at any time. Like there's no security when it comes to people working in the game industry. And it's just freaking sad, man.
I heard in the UK, the gaming industry, the developers are talking about unionizing, or they have a union thing going on.
Yeah, obviously because of this incident, people over here are talking about unions. Again, they've been talking about unions for a while, but but the thing is, like, and Manny, you and I discussed this, like, if they unionize, they're just going to get developers from other countries,
Yeah, that's the one problem with unionizing everything. It's like, who's to say that the developers are going to go along with it? I mean, just like what happened in the animation industry, when everybody went on strike in the 80s, what did they do? They didn't really settle. All they did was just go to Japan.
Well, it happened with programmers. Same thing with programmers.
You'd have to cut the loopholes for outsourcing at the same time you're trying to unionize these jobs, right? Otherwise, they'll do exactly that. Like Kotick's a greedy fuck. Activision has a Bermuda fucking safe house so they dodge taxes. He would totally do that. So to unionize, he'd just be like, okay. But again, the other side to that is like we got great developers here. You go outsource that shit, who knows what the quality is going to be, right? Their games are going to fall off the cliff in terms of quality if they do that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Thank you, Munishin, for subscribing. Appreciate that. Carlos, what's going on in the chat over there? Everybody's like gifting each other some shit.
Well, I don't know how this works, but apparently it says an anonymous gifter is gifting 5 tier 1 subs to Throwdown's community. So someone's
gifting
tier 1. So yeah, thanks whoever it is.
Yeah, thank you for whoever's doing that. That's pretty fucking awesome.
Nice.
Let me read some of these comments.
Apparently it's Anon.
Who?
Anon.
And anonymous. It says an anonymous gifter. Hey man, thank you. Appreciate that. I like how it's a little ghost. GZDR says they have 800 person staff, and you telling me they couldn't pay them 1 million a year? They make 800 million between COD games.
Wait, what?
Let me read that again. They have an 800 person staff. I'm guessing he's talking about all the people that work there, and you're telling me they couldn't pay them 1 million a year. They make 800 million between COD games. I don't know.
That would be paying. Hold on. So 1 million divided amongst 800 people is $1,250 each for a year.
No, I think he's saying paying them each $1 million.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. I don't think that's happening, bro.
No.
Yeah, these guys are not even game developers. They ain't gonna make that much money, you know.
Let me break something down I recently figured out for some of you guys, like, because I've been dealing with a lot more of the business industry in my industry, or a lot more of the business part of my industry. Do you guys realize to open a fucking Burger King, it's going to cost you 600 G's in franchise fees, but it's also going to cost you about $600,000 a year to hire a crew of retarded 16-year-olds, a skeleton crew of retarded 16-year-olds. Like, that shit stacks up so fast.
Brett, I'm going through that right now, and it's ridiculous.
Right? It is insane how much it costs to actually pay people.
You have to pay people workers' comp. That shit's fucking crazy. It's so much fucking money, man.
Yeah, I don't think you guys realize how quickly it stacks up. And I use Burger King as an example. Like, you drive through Burger King, there's probably 20 people in there. And they're throwing away hundreds of thousands of dollars in labor over the course of a year, like a ton of money. You think that these things are small money endeavors. And like, that blew my mind, because then just thinking about that, you have to realize how much money each Walmart or each Target or each grocery store has to fucking make to support the hundreds of employees that they have. Like, it suddenly all makes sense. And I'm not saying that it's right, but I am saying 800 people paying 800 people is a shitload of money. So yes, even a billionaire gets hurt paying 800 people that they don't need. And these aren't low dollar people either. You know, I would say probably these guys are, let's say 50,000, right? That's pretty good for what they're talking about, right?
Yeah, I think so. About $50,000 a year.
800 people. That's $40 million.
Well, no, like it just really depends. Like, regulations favor the multi-billion-dollar corporations than the little guy, you know. Try to start.
Oh no, I know, but like I'm just saying, when you say like, do they not have enough money? Like, okay, let's say they're getting paid $30,000 a year, which is they're not. They're all getting paid more than that. Like, that's a ridiculously low amount. But even if they're getting paid $30,000 a year, and there's 800 of them motherfuckers, that's $24 million a year. So yeah, even if you make $1 billion, you notice 24 million. I'm not saying it's the right choice. I'm just saying that you can't just leave on a staff of 800 people to be nice. You can't. Shareholders are going to be like, you're giving away how many millions of dollars? No, just no. We don't live in that world. I'm not trying to be a dick here. I feel like
you got to break it down, you know, truthfully, because that's the thing a lot of people don't talk about. It's like, it's like people just latch on to, you know, people getting fired, which is understandable, obviously, but you got to understand the business end of it too, you know. And I'm glad you guys broke down the numbers, how this shit really works. It's like, okay, yeah, just because Call of Duty makes $800 million doesn't mean everybody gets $1 million. And it doesn't work like that, you know.
Yeah, you know, your profits and ROI go back into the business to make product and research and all that stuff. And like Brett's saying, you're paying staff. My only complaint was they just got the CFO on, and he got a $15 million signing bonus. That could have saved a few jobs.
Oh yeah.
That's.
I want to very clearly express my opinion. There is a huge imbalance of pay structure between the upper echelons and the lower echelons of these companies. That still doesn't change the fact that it costs a shitload of money to hire these people. But yeah, no, I strongly believe that the upper management should have their pay cut in a lot of these scenarios. It's just a flagrant waste of money and self-congratulation. It's fucking stupid. So I'm not sitting here saying I love big business, fire all the workers, make a profit, bottom line is best. I'm not. I am from the 80s, but not that way.
So Violence and Empathy says on the chat, he says, no, Brett, he used to work in the game in games. If your QA it can be below 30K. Don't forget marketing people or the office grunts.
I'm thinking about, like, I'm sure there are lower people in there. I was thinking more along the lines of, I forgot that they probably laid off people other than like programmers and managers and things like that. But if you work any sort, in any sort of the corporate structure, or if you live or work in it, really depends on where you live too. Like around Kansas City here, like things are super, cost of living is super cheap. So they pay less than here, which makes it a trap to get out of here. So like moving from Kansas City to California or Hawaii or something, fucking impossible, because your money's worth a third of what it was by the time you left. However, if you sell your house in California and come here, motherfucker, you could buy a mansion. Like, it is stupid. You get 3 times the house. So here, you sometimes get people, anything below 25,000 is basically hourly menial work. Like, you're getting paid hourly. You're not getting paid a salary. And anything in, from what the programmers that I've known generally all pull between 60 and 90K. Maybe I'm talking to the completely wrong people. So that is anecdotal. My point still stands, though, that costs a lot of money. And I don't know if they're firing. I don't know if they're laying off the guy that they're only paying $8 an hour. I don't know if that's the guy that they're firing.
Well, they find a lot of esports guys. I don't know how much those guys make. There's players, coaches, commentators. I don't know what their salaries are, though.
Yeah, I mean, it is bad. I'm just saying it's not as bad or as corrupt or as terrible, and it's a little bit more inevitable than the stories make it out to be. It sucks. The corporate higher ups shouldn't be giving themselves huge bonuses and gigantic salaries while firing all of the little guys. Or if they did, they should at least take a pay cut, as we had kind of mentioned before. But at the same time, the meat of the matter here is this kind of thing is going to happen. It's because businesses, until you stop seeing companies run by shareholders, you're going to keep seeing this. When you have people who run a team and they believe in a team and they believe in, yes, these extra people increase the quality of what I'm doing, and I care about the quality. I can't show you on paper how they make it better, but they do. Yeah, sure, that's like a mom and pop business, but we've talked about shareholders fucking things up tons of times, and to shareholders, profit is the bottom line. And if they can trim the fat, they're sure shit going to trim the fat. They're not just going to keep people on because labor's expensive. I mean, think about some of the numbers we just rattled off. Like, even on the low end of that, let's say it's $150 million. Let's say it's all like 60% of what I had said before, which again I feel is a bit ludicrously low. But think of all the shit you could do with $150 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, we'll move on here to the Nintendo Direct. We had a new Nintendo Direct. I believe this was the first one of 2019.
Oh.
And, but guys, you already know me. Like, I always go into these things like, it's going to be a bunch of bullshit. I didn't even bother looking at this one. Apparently, they dropped a bunch of crazy-ass announcements. Like, from what I saw, it looks like a lot of good stuff's coming. So, Chris, I'm going to bounce this over to you, man. What were some of the highlights of the Nintendo Direct?
All right. Well, I think some of the big ones were they got Super Mario Maker 2 coming. So we knew this was going to get ported over. Apparently, it added a lot of stuff to it. So they said it's a sequel. People love that game. So I was wondering, where is it? Why wouldn't they port that over earlier? But it's finally coming. I didn't know this. They remade Link's Awakening. It's a whole new looking engine, and it looks pretty and stuff. So that game is like 25, 26 years old. It came out on Game Boy years ago. So I mean that was a neat surprise. I was shocked. They even did a little anime scene where he's on the raft and stuff for the intro. So that was cool. they spent a lot of time talking about Fire Emblem three houses, and I fell off Fire Emblem back in the GameCube days. I don't know anything about Fire Emblem, but so I was looking at it, but it looks super complicated. Like you're running a school, and there's these three nations, and each have so you have students there, and then you send them to war, and then they can form camaraderies. I don't know. It was kind of like Persona, but with Fire Emblem shit in it. So that was interesting. Except you're the teacher, you're not the student. Um, Another one. So Platinum, I didn't know they were making this. They got this game called Astral Chain coming out on the Switch, and that thing looks badass. It's like you're like cyber cops or something. You fight these like weird monsters in like this future cities looking environment, and it looks pretty neat. I mean, I got vibes of what you call it?
Your
Not
Automata.
Bayonetta. No, 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 no. What's the game we
Vanquish.
enjoyed? Vanquish. Thank you. I got
Oh
vibes of
yeah,
that
yeah.
a little bit.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
you're not sliding around and shit, but it's kind of crazy. Like you have crazy armor, like this police armor comes over you, and you're just like fighting these monsters. So I was like, oh, that looks cool. Um, they're gonna get Dragon's Quest 11 in the fall.
Nice.
They're getting a couple updates for Captain Toad. I think one's free,
Oh,
one's paid.
back up a little bit, back up a little bit. All right, Dragon Quest XI, check this out. So this version is going to have a full orchestral score, which is one of the big things people complain about with Dragon Quest XI on PS4 and PC. They're like, where's the orchestral score? So it's going to have an orchestral score. It's going to have some more character stories, and it's also going to have 8-bit mode. You could play the whole game in 8-bit if you want.
Yeah,
And it's crazy.
Yeah, it switches. Yeah.
Which is kind of what they advertised on that one.
Yes, but here's the interesting thing, Manny. The 8-bit mode is actually from the 3DS version of Dragon Quest XI. That didn't come out in America. Like the 3DS has a full version of Dragon Quest XI just made for the 3DS. So that's where that's coming from, which is really cool. It kind of gets me. I'm like, fuck, do I have to play this game again? Just to check this out.
Yeah, they're calling it the definitive edition.
Yeah,
Right?
and also, Chris, before you go on, I need to go off on a slight rant about the fucking Link's Awakening, man. Okay, so we get Link's Awakening, a Game Boy game from 25 years ago on Switch, which is fantastic. I'm not complaining about it. That's great. Why the fuck didn't Metroid Samus Returns get the same treatment? We got it on 3DS instead.
Oh,
Get the fuck out of here,
dude! This is a test. This is a test. They're not going to do it with the old Mario games because the old Mario games aren't going to translate as well. I bet you that they know one of their biggest fan bases is the Zelda franchise fan base, and that people fucking like the Zelda games on the Game Boy. People are fucking fanatic about.
Yes, yes, they are.
So I bet you that they looked at it and said, okay, so we're gonna try and repolish one of our classic games and bring it to an old handheld experience to a new handheld. What game do we have the most chance of having success with that with? It is going to be Link's Awakening. I mean, that is the clear low-hanging fruit. And I bet you if it works, we're going to see the same treatment given to a lot of the old Game Boy classics.
Yeah, because the thing is like, okay, Samus Returns, it's already on 3DS. The assets are already there. Just bring it over to Switch. That's all I'm asking. It's like, I love
No. This thing looks beautiful. This thing couldn't be on a 3DS.
Okay, so it needs to just be upgraded.
It looks very nice. The engine kind of looks like it's doing effects that's in that new Yoshi game, which they also talked a little bit about on the Direct. But it looks like that it has this blurring, so it has this depth of that things farther away blur out, and so it focuses on the foreground.
Yeah,
and
but
it is really nice.
Yeah, but I just got a little bad. I'm like, okay, come on, you couldn't, because Samus Returns.
I'd be mad
awesome.
if they gave me a 3DS port, even a polished 3DS port.
But Brett, that's my point. I'm like, you gave me a 3DS version of Samus Returns, and you couldn't put it on the Switch. Come on.
Why did you not have this complaint when the
Pokemon
game come out?
Because I don't give a fuck about Pokemon. That's why.
No, Pokemon did the same thing. It was a 3DS game that got a revamp. If that's what you're asking for, then you should have asked for that during Pokemon.
But I don't give a fuck about Pokemon. That's the
it kind of
point,
did. I mean, we just had Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and that was basically Pokemon Yellow.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the point is, like, I don't give a fuck about Pokemon. I care about Metroid. I'd be like, so it was annoying to me that I had to play it on 3DS and instead of the Switch, which would have been way better. Hello, Mr. Bus Driver Announcer Man. Manny, what's your thoughts on Link's Awakening?
It looks like 3D Game Heroes.
It kind of
yes.
Yeah,
which was
essentially a link.
Listen, I am all for this. This looks cool. I just want Samus Returns on motherfucking Switch. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Chris. Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
You would rather have the Samus Returns is on 3DS. Like, what about one of the classic Samus?
No, I
games?
want that fucking game. Like, again, it is annoying that I had to play it on 3DS when they could have put it on Switch when the Switch was out. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they might take this. I see what Brett's saying. If this does well, they may go, oh, okay, so we can take Zero Mission from GBA and polish it like this. We'll give it a brand new engine and stuff, and then put that on the Switch, right? That may be the next step. Like Samus Returns, they may have been treading a fine line, like, this was a Game Boy game, maybe it should go to 3DS. And make that decision. I don't agree with the
Link's
decision.
Awakening is a Game Boy game. That's my point.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not saying it was a good decision with Samus. Not at that time, but that's what they went with. With this one though, they may going forward. This may be what they do. So Metroid Fusion could get a Switch remake. Or
I have no problem with that. Bring remake all the Metroids. I'm just saying, can I please get Samus Returns on Switch? That's all I'm asking.
You will eventually. Yeah. See, here's the problem: if they would have just put the 3D version, 3DS version of Samus Returns on Switch, it would have looked like hot garbage.
Okay,
it would have been
remake the remake then. If that's
that was the thing. When the option probably came to the table, they're like, dude, we're like 75, 80% done making this game. Are you telling us to go back? Our options are to release it on 3DS or go back and remaster a game that we haven't released yet? No, we're just releasing it.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened, But yeah, I think you guys are right. Like when Link's Awakening does well, because it's going to do gangbusters, they're probably going to go, let's bring fucking Super Metroid over, beef that shit up for a Switch and throw it on there. Oh my god, I can't wait.
But they need to bring Barrio Land and Warrior World.
Exactly, but Link's Awakening on Switch, hell fucking yeah, let's go.
Oh god, yes, but dude, I had a moment. I just saw this news this morning, and somebody posted a picture. They're like, to all those people who are saying that the game looks kind of simple, it's because it's based on the old 3D Game Boy game. And I was like, what? And I clicked it and I saw a picture of it, and I had a moment where in a room all by myself I went, oh, holy shit! I am fucking excited about this shit, man. That is my jam.
Yeah. By the way, Glorious War says he doesn't like the chibi art style.
Know your history, boy.
Well, that's what they said about Wind Waker. Wind Waker was a great game, but when that first appeared, people were like, what is this?
Oh, I was one of those people. I still to this day have problems. I'd be like, Wind Waker isn't one of your favorite games? Like, man, I can't get over the art style. It's just weird. It just came out of nowhere.
Interesting. Anyway, Chris, continue with what with the rest of the presentation. What else did they show?
Okay,
so I got excited by Zelda. It happened. You should know this was going to happen, Tony.
I just want that fucking motherfucking Samus. Anyway, go on.
So there's a demo for Daemon X Machina, which looks like a neat mech battle game.
Yeah.
That I've been looking forward to ever since they showed the first thing at E3. And so there's a demo on it, and it got a release date. I don't know if it's May or June. I know it's sometime in the summer. They showed Yoshi's Crafted World. It got a date March 29th. That comes out, and it's it's like 2D, 3D platforming side scroller with Yoshi. It has like a little claymation look. It's neat. So what I found interesting was Final Fantasy VII, the original, the PS1 version, and Final Fantasy IX are coming to Switch.
Where's 8?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we don't talk about
indeed?
that. Yeah. We don't talk about that, Manny.
It's the 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy VIII, and it's nowhere to be seen.
And nobody cares.
Good.
Yeah. By the way, I saw a lot of love for that game on Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? But Chris, we talked about this on a previous episode where we're like, okay, Final Fantasy 7 and 9 are getting remade for everything. No one's talking about 8. Very interesting.
Yeah, I know that game did not get love from people, and honestly, I don't miss it.
They can totally fix the draw system in there. You know that.
Fix the salary system. Fix the leveling.
Yeah, the leveling
with the enemies.
Oh god.
Make Squall an interesting character.
Yeah, but also think about it like this though, and we talked about this too. The probable reason why 7 and 9 are getting remade is because they've already been remade. No one has remade 8 yet. That's probably why.
Because 8 is terrible.
No,
They took the
I'm
PC
not,
versions for those versions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They haven't done it with 8. But no, I agree with you. 8 is a bad game.
They just have to know that nobody's like, if they have any kind of self-awareness, they know that the community is not asking for 8. I guarantee you, they are probably a little bit ashamed of 8. They're like, I don't know, man. Like, people really liked Squall, or people really liked Cloud, and he was sullen, and so like we're like, let's go more sullen. They'll probably like that more. And then we ended up with this fucking dumpster fire of a protagonist, and then we put a weird draw system on it, and somehow made the whole world uninteresting. Like, it's a game made for 14-year-old girls, but marketed to 16-year-old boys. We don't know what happened. It was bad calls. It's a series of bad calls that somehow led to a game. We just don't talk about it.
Yeah, let's just be honest. The only cool thing about the game was the gun blade. That was fucking awesome. You know?
Dude,
cinematics, man.
Dude, the highlight of the game.
Yeah,
they were nice.
The highlight.
Talking to a panel of male games here. The highlight of the game where you dance with the chick at the ball. Oh my God, who there felt that moment? Because I know I did.
Yeah, the cinematics were awesome. Yeah, go ahead, matey.
That intro, man, to that game, like in the initial trailer for that, I mean, I can't lie. I was hyped at the time when I got it. You know, when it was coming out.
Oh, they got me too. That's why I'm so mad.
Yeah, that Sting, man, it's still there 20 years later. You know,
to date, that is the only Final Fantasy game that I have started and never finished.
Yeah.
And sold it.
Oh, see, man, I wish I would have done that. This is probably why I don't platinum games these days, because that should ruin me. I used to push through and finish games, and games like that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm just mad that I wasted my time now.
It's funny because I got up to the 4th disc, like in 2001 when I got my PlayStation 2. Had backwards compatibility, and I was like, because I didn't draw enough magic, I'm like, fuck, I can't advance. I stopped playing the game. Then, like, was it 7 years later when I got on PSN? I'm like, fuck this shit, Tony, you're gonna finish this fucking game. So I forced myself to finish Final Fantasy 8 years ago because it was just gnawing at me, But
and was it worth it?
No, not really. But at least I could say I finished it,
Yeah,
the one thing about it is that the game kind of pushes you to keep moving forward. If you sit around and grind, that is to your detriment because everything gets incredibly hard.
But I did that. Yeah. I got to level 100. I grinded. I sucked magic for hours on end. There's some things I like about the game. I like the graphics, even though they're dated now. I like the graphics. I like the world design. I liked how the characters were like human proportion, not chibi. The cinemas were fucking awesome. The gun blade was cool. I liked the, some of the enemies like the dinosaurs. But yeah, nah, son. It was not fun to play. It was a chore.
I didn't mind the chibi. You know what I really liked about 8 is that it made 9 look awesome.
Yeah, 9.
But 9 is nice.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, after the train wreck that 8 was, you got to 9, you're like, oh, sweet Jesus, thank you. Finally, it's like stretching after a long road trip. Glad that nightmare is over. I think we're back to good stuff.
Oh, man.
One thing about 9 is that it's, the one thing that prevented me from actually playing 9 when it first came out actually was because I was already playing a Dreamcast. I was like, man, I ain't going to the past.
Yeah,
I'm in the future already.
So did anybody here finish 9?
No, I never played it because I again, at the time it's like the Dreamcast was out already, so
yeah. I gotta say, without spoilers, since you guys may actually go back and play this, best final boss ever, and it is on the old cliche of literally the final boss is every boss you fought in the entire game followed by a super boss.
Yeah, I've heard that everybody praises the final boss.
This is not my final form.
Yeah, anyway,
dude, it's literally like it's just chained. Like, that boss that you fought, now fight all of them. Holy fuck! Literally every boss I fought in the entire game, all at once. All right, let's fucking do this.
Let's do this. All right, Chris, continue. What else happened in Direct?
They had some. I think the next biggest ones was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So how long has it been? Like 12 years since 2?
Yeah, they announced it a couple months ago.
Yeah,
remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean since the release.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time. I got the platinum in that game too, by the way. Yeah, excuse me.
So there's there's that looks cool.
Did you
Starlink?
forget?
That comes out in, was it the summertime, right?
Yeah, summer. It doesn't have a specific date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They showed Bloodstained. which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I heard it's finally we're finally getting it, right?
Yeah, we're finally getting it in the summer. Yeah, so it comes out summer.
Let's go.
I thought that game came out like last year.
What, Bloodstain?
No, that was Curse of the Moon. That was the 8-bit one.
This is what we kickstarted, right? This the main thing.
Yeah,
the main meal's coming out finally. So crazy! I didn't know this. They're porting Hellblade to the Switch.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, they announced
that. So Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice coming out in the spring.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
You know why? Because Unreal is running on Switch now. That's why Dragon Quest came out on there too.
Yeah, but the fact that they even put that on their platform really shows Nintendo has matured a little bit. It's like, I got something to say after all of this.
I don't know if it has to do with Nintendo maturing. I think it just has to do with the fact that the technology is there for them to put it out there. I don't think Nintendo cares that much.
I think it's because the Switch, sells copies and people want their games on it. I think that's what it is.
No, I think that's true, but Nintendo used... Yeah, Adam, you're a robot, so I'm just going to talk over you. Nintendo used to be really bad game nannies, man. There were a couple of times that they made a foray into a horror type game or something like that, but then they always backpedaled. You only got a little sprinkling. I actually feel like Switch is delivering games with mature content, not necessarily focused on that, but they're giving people a choice, which it used to be cool, I can have fun kiddie games on Nintendo, but I have to get another console if I'm going to play anything serious. I don't think you've ever seen a game like Hellblade on the Switch.
By the way, think about it like this. This is more to your point too. PlayStation is censoring a lot of those I'm not going to say hentai games, but you know what kind of games I'm talking about, right? They're censoring those kind of games. Yet Switch is here you go. We're not censoring any of this shit. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's
you do realize though that Sony doing that sort of stuff actually does have repercussions on the rest of the industry, because most of those companies will start going toward the lowest common denominator rather than making alternate versions of games. They just make one version.
Yeah, and since Sony has the bigger platform, they're going to be all right, we're just going to cater to PlayStation, and that's that, which is kind of sad. Yeah, it's kind of sad. But yeah, right now, if you want those, pervy games, I don't know any other word to describe them, get them on Switch,
Mature games, Tony. Mature games.
Mature, Chris, what else?
So Starlink is getting an update. So the Star Fox content is expanded, so now you can play the other Star Fox members like Falco and Peppy, and they added missions. They got.
Are you saving the best for last, or did you miss one?
I don't know. I'm just going down the list I have here. They showed.
Funny thing about Starlink is it's not doing anything on any other platform, but for some reason it's getting an update on the Switch.
Yeah, well, it's because of the Star Fox stuff, and that's really what they're expanding. They should have done something like that for the other platforms. They should have grabbed something from Sony. They should have added some Halo shit for Microsoft, and put it in there, and then that would have drawn people in. But Nintendo was the only one to do that, so they get the updates. Smash Brothers is getting a 3.0 update, which they announced, but they didn't tell you anything about it. That's interesting. But the Joker character from Persona is coming in April.
Oh, and those two amiibos, you're
never
getting them.
See it coming.
Yes, Snake and Simon Belmont are getting amiibos, but I don't know if that's a GameStop exclusive or not. They weren't clear on that. Carlos, which one did you think I missed?
I know exactly what it is.
Box Boy?
You didn't know. You missed the big surprise. Fucking Tetris Battle Royale game.
Excuse me?
Yeah, Tetris 99.
What the fuck?
That's not the one.
I thought that, to me, that is. What are you talking about? Actually, no, hold on to that.
What, Chris, Rune Factory 4?
Yeah. Chris, we got to talk about Tetris though. Explain this to me, because I can't wrap my mind around this. The game's available now, but I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
I don't understand how this is Battle Royale. You're just playing Tetris. You could play 4-player Tetris, local or online, and to me, that's just online Tetris. I don't get the Battle Royale part of it.
I think I probably get it.
You knock off. It knocks you off.
Well, are you all still going top to bottom, or are you kind of going towards the center point?
Not sure.
No, it's the same. It looks like classic Tetris.
Kind of classic Tetris is to a certain extent already battle royale in the sense that you have a shrinking field size amongst all people. I think maybe it's just branding.
Maybe.
Yeah, because as I was watching it, I'm like, I don't see how this is not just Tetris. I don't get the battle royale part.
Maybe maybe when you make lines, it'll go onto somebody else's line, kind of like Puzzle Fighter.
They already do that.
But Tetris does that. Yeah.
I don't understand.
I think it's just if you describe battle royale,
I don't understand.
And say it's
buzzword.
It's a buzzword.
Well, if you say battle royale and they're like, "What is battle royale?" and you're like, "Well, okay, here's Tetris battle royale." So, like every battle royale, you have a shrinking size field, and if you get caught outside that field or killed, then you're out, and there's a big number of players. So the way we do it in Tetris is everybody's box shrinks at the same time, and if by the time the box shrinks, if you have lines above that point, then you get knocked out. You're like, yeah, isn't that just Tetris? And they're like, no, it's Tetris Battle Royale.
Glorious War says that you're playing against 100 other people at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Is that it's not 4 players. They're putting all of you in a giant
but that's
group.
just massive multiplayer Tetris. That's
so why don't they call it
Tetris? They call it Battle Royale because the field is shrinking.
Yeah, call it Tetris Mag. That's what it is.
Because the field is shrinking, so technically it's a battle royale game. Technically,
But Tetris has always done that. I don't get it.
They can use the word, so they're basically Tetris is sitting there like, so all the kids are into battle royale. What's that? It's when you play competitively and the field shrinks. Don't we already do that? Yes. All right, call it battle royale and release a new game. I don't know why they both sound like J. Jonah Jameson in my head, but they do.
Yo, let me actually look at some video of this shit, What the fuck? Because we're over here speculating on what this is, Yeah,
even when I saw it in the Direct, I'm like, isn't this just Tetris? Like, I'm not seeing how this is Battle Royale. I'm not understanding. Something's not...
how is it not, though, Chris?
I'm watching it right. I don't even understand what the fuck I'm watching right now.
Does it run in 60 frames? That's all I care about.
Oh, maybe.
Now, Chris, here's something that I find interesting. Let me scroll up here so I can read it. Because it's on Switch, right? Do you need to pay for the online service in order to play this thing?
Yes, because they said it was free.
Oh, fuck that.
But to play on to do the multiplayer, you have to pay for Nintendo Online.
Okay. Oh God, the whole $10 a year.
It's part of the service. Yeah,
fuck
it's $20, Brett.
It's how much?
$20.
$20 for the year.
Yeah, it says here. It says here if you're a member, if you're a member of Switch Online, you can play the Battle Royale game.
By the way, I'm a member of Switch Online, and I'm ashamed of saying that. So.
Damn, I'm not.
Oh.
I
mean, put your tomatoes at me while you can, people.
Dude, I'm not thrilled about it, but at least they're only charging $20 a year.
I did it because people freaking forced me because they wanted to play Smash Brothers.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Dude, how is that any different than PlayStation? Yeah.
Because Nintendo sucks. That's why.
Because the free games that they give are kind of crappy.
Yeah.
Again, how is that different from PlayStation?
No, PS Plus gives you better incentives than.
Yeah, I know, but they also charge. They also charge.
Online storage.
Make it all into a party and.
Dude, I find the service quality.
Online game saves 100 gigabytes. Are you
kidding me?
No, I agree. I'm saying the service quality compared with the price difference is about what you'd expect.
You're excusing a jalopy.
You mean a Gillette?
No, jalopy.
No, a jalopy.
Jalopy. Carlos is too young. He don't understand what that means.
I mean, to a certain extent, if you're like, yeah, man, I paid like $500 for that motherfucker. Like, I mean, you really can't expect air conditioning for that, I guess.
It's literally the family bike.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris.
Yeah.
You forgot one game. And I just want to say
I forgot several games. I mean, I know you're excited about Disney Tsum Tsum Festival. I'm sorry. Deltarune. Let's see what else. Unravel 2. Oh, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, because that's the one everybody wanted.
Well, the game that I just want to say,
prepare to be bored.
I kind of called it. and it's Super Mario Maker 2.
He
Wait,
said it.
that was
That's
the
the
first
first one he
thing he
said.
First thing I said,
Yeah. What the fuck you talking about? That's the
I
first
didn't
thing
hear
he
it, man,
said.
so it didn't count.
This motherfucker was waiting here for 2 hours for this shit. It's like the first one he said, bro.
Yeah, I talked about that.
Yeah, that was literally the first one he
I
talked about.
literally
Yeah.
said we called that. Like, when was this gonna happen? And
That was
Carlos.
the moment when Carlos was playing Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah,
No,
right?
no, no.
They can't do
Carlos.
that shit.
Did you hear that Adam doesn't want the division anymore?
Oh, wait, what? Excuse me?
Seriously?
cancel his pre-order, man.
Yo.
I honestly didn't hear it.
Yeah, all right.
bet.
What are your thoughts on it, Carlos?
Yo, man, I can't fucking wait. Mario Maker 1 was like probably a top 5 game for the Wii U. Most people didn't buy the Wii U, so they don't know how that life is. But yeah, man, I can't wait. It's one of we had discussions about those play, create, share games and how I'm not too fond of them, especially Little Big Planet. But Mario Maker is one that I really like, especially because the community is fucking crazy. They make crazy ass fucking games.
I think the thing about it is that there's a simplicity to the Mario thing. In other words, you can't make anything, like you can in like a Little Big Planet or those other things. It still has a structure to it, and I think that's why people like it so much. It has a structure that people understand.
Yeah, it's like because and also like all the Mario games, like they're based on, you can do the 8-bit, you can do the new Super Mario Bros. Like part like creator and stuff like that, and there's a level of understanding of how those worlds work and how they play, and like Manny mentioned, like you're still within those boundaries. They're just, it's like if Nintendo made more levels. So yeah, like it's Super Mario Maker 2. It comes out I think June of 2019. So I can't freaking wait. Hopefully it doesn't come out during E3 time, which it probably will, knowing my luck, because I won't be here.
You could download it if you have a Switch, man.
Oh, that's right. Yo, Brett, you were right, man. You're a fucking Nostradamus, man. On the go. Let's go.
I'm telling you. It's more important than you think, man. It's not important until you go to an airport.
The only thing is that free Wi-Fi sucks in around New York.
Free Wi-Fi sucks in America.
Oh,
It's not safe.
That's not a localized thing. Yeah, it's not safe, right? That's true.
shit. I was in Korea live streaming to everybody how Korea looks like. That shit looked like butter.
Yeah, that shit was legit.
I wish we had infrastructure.
Carlos was at a Korean bodega live streaming, and he's like, "Shit, the Wi-Fi here is pretty hot."
Oh man.
So I gotta say though, like I feel like, and somebody feel free to contradict me on this. I feel like Nintendo is killing it as more than they have since Super Nintendo. Like I'm trying to think of the last time that they've just been hitting these high points. And I know people are gonna say the Wii, fuck that noise.
Well, no, I don't know. I would agree with you. The Wii wasn't like Super Nintendo or anything. The Wii success banked on really like Wii Sports and an expanded market, which collapsed and shrank real fast, which is why the Wii U failed.
Yeah,
right. The Super Nintendo was a key system, man. Like that was a defining generation. That between that and Genesis, that to me is still the pinnacle generation.
That's the pinnacle right there. It can't be stopped. So, Brett, just so I understand you correctly, you're saying that the Switch is like the best Nintendo has been since the NES days. Is that what you're saying?
Since the NES days, yes. I'm not saying that the Switch is as good as the NES because I don't believe that. But I'm saying if you had to rate the Nintendo systems, I feel like Switch would come right after my SNES at this point.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't get. I mean, I think you're just in a high right now, but not literally. But
I mean, no, literally. That's fine.
You know, literally too, motherfucker. You know.
But for those of you who played N64, N64 was a fucking butter system. I don't care what anybody says. The controller sucked, and it didn't sell as well, but it had the games.
I know, but he's talking about in terms of popularity and the quality of games. He is 100% right.
Okay.
This is the best. Yeah. This is the best Nintendo has been since the SNES. I don't think anybody could dispute that. You know.
Yeah, if you're talking about popularity, then you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that I was the one that I'm like, dude, I think Nintendo's gonna hook with this, but I am surprised not necessarily by the success, but by the quality and like it feels almost like, I don't want to jinx it. It feels almost like we have I can almost see the old Nintendo shining through. Before they went all bullshit and fucking crazy. And I realize I'm probably just jumping at mirrors, but it almost feels like a little bit like the old Nintendo's come back.
It's funny you want to talk about old Nintendo. Who did who? Do you know who hosted the direct?
No, who?
It was Koizumi, the producer of Mario Odyssey.
Wow.
I'm telling you right now, I'm saying this flat out. Miyamoto got a window seat. The rumor is Pikmin got canceled. He is not doing jack over there. And he is not calling any more shots over there. And not only that, they got new blood. Their president's a new guy. And Koizumi seems to be the man now. He seems to be basically the creative director, calling the shots over there. I think that's why we're feeling it. And he's been around since the Super Nintendo days.
Yeah, he a lot of the Mario games and all that stuff is all him.
Yeah, this is what we've been talking about for years on this show. It's like Nintendo needs new blood, new leadership, and now that they're having that, look what's happening with the system. This was needed. Miyamoto, I'm sorry, I know he's a legendary guy, but he was holding them back. I'm just being honest. So it's good to see Nintendo getting up there. Go ahead, Manny.
But I don't see Miyamoto going gunpei like gunpei on Nintendo. I think he's just gonna sit in that window seat until it's really time to retire.
Yeah, it's like, listen, just get him on stage every once in a year with a sword and shield, and people be happy. You don't.
He's like the way Stan Lee was to Marvel. You roll Stanley when Stanley got old. Stanley wasn't really important. He had nothing to do with any of the comics.
Yeah,
they roll him out every so often, make him sign some shit. He does some talks. Then he goes back to his home and
let him put cameos.
Yeah, just put Miyamoto proudly presents on each game, and you're good.
Exactly. You could totally do that.
Hey, true believers.
Yeah, true believers.
When I invented video games,
there's a point where some of these sorts of creators become just like so iconic that it just doesn't matter. They don't even need to put their name on anything in order for them for it to be considered something that they created. So Miyamoto's that now. He doesn't really make much games anymore. So, and I'm sure he obviously doesn't call any shots anymore. He's just like a mascot now.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Chris, anything else about this direct?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, there was a few small announcements. I think they showed Dragon's Quest Builders 2. Dead by Daylight is getting ported over. I said Deltarune.
Oh wow.
Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon is coming out. I think this. Oh, and Mortal Kombat 11, right? Mortal Kombat 11 drops in the spring also.
What? No Quiet Man?
Who wants that shit? Put that on the Ouya.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on. Man, this is insane. Okay, Apex Legends acquires 25 million players in a week. Like, I don't.
How does that translate into actual money?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if they don't see. That's the thing. They haven't talked about it turning into money yet. But I'm sure they have the microtransactions there, so it's probably doing it.
And I think they've had like 2 million concurrent players, which is playing at the same time.
Yeah, I've heard some really interesting stuff. The community's general reaction to this game seems to have gone an odd direction in that it's don't tell the Fortnite players how good this game is because we don't want all the Fortnite trash invading our new good game.
Oh, shit. By the way, Apex Legends is destroying Fortnite and Twitch.
Oh, I know. And that's kind of thing. Like, it really looks like Apex Legends. When I start to hear that kind of comment, it really makes me think like, oh, shit, this could dethrone Fortnite or at least take out one of its legs. Like, the fact that it is that people are like, don't tell the people from Fortnite because we want to. This is, as far as they're concerned, this is the next big thing, and they want to leg up on what's going to be their inevitable competition. So the community has basically decided somehow already, and not like got together and be like, oh, we think this is going to happen. They're so convinced that this is going to dethrone Fortnite that they're making plans for it to dethrone. Like they're figuring out how they can get in there first, and Twitch streamers followed that fucking trend. That's the perfect recipe for a Fortnite poison. Like that is not good for Fortnite. I am shocked by how viral this game became and how quickly.
Well, I'm not shocked. Two things. First thing, shout out to Big Mike. Yo, Mike, you good?
Yo, Mike, you good?
Yo. Number 2, Fortnite, and I'll just say it, and let everyone know that doesn't already know, that's not in the know. Fortnite, it's not really a good game. The mechanics are shit. The graphics are shit. It just has the biggest gimmick that is taking over the industry is the whole battle royale stuff. And now Apex Legends comes, a polished game with good shooting mechanics, with nice weapons. Oh, what a surprise! It's doing fucking huge. No, it's not a surprise. Once you get competency with something that's trending like that, then it shouldn't surprise anyone.
People just move on to the next hot shit, and it's free.
Yeah.
You know what? Anthem? What? That's not a battle royale game.
I'm saying that, that's that exactly right there is why I'm excited about Anthem.
Nah, it's free, man. That's the ultimate price.
What? No. I'm saying when you get an idea that's popularized and mixed with competent game design.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because here's what I said. Yeah, by the way, just shout out to or plug to us. Me and Carlos and Big Mike, we streamed the game the other night, and Big Mike liked it. He really likes the game, but me and Carlos were like, what the fuck is this shit? And
what is this?
Too much dead time.
And Carlos, here's the funny thing, right? Because I was reading an article. I don't know where it was from, but they basically saying they don't like Apex Legends because it's too fast paced. They like the slow, boring stuff of battle royale games. So I find that interesting that you said that shit was too boring because they felt that game was too fast paced. I agree with you. I think like this shit is like too much dead time picking up shit and all this other stuff. And like I said, even though I do not like battle royale games, I do believe Apex Legends is the best of those. It's certainly better than PUBG, better than Fortnite, better than H1Z1 Battle Royale. It's better than all those, but it's still a Battle Royale game, so I'm not a fan, but it's definitely the best. Because the thing, this is why it's better than Fortnite. And since we're already shitting on the game, I'm just going to do it. Better graphics, better gameplay, and none of that building bullshit. I'm sorry, I know that's the key.
Hey, shut your whore mouth.
And no, fuck you, all right? So that's the worst part. I'm sorry, that's the worst part of Fortnite. I'm like, you're doing all this building. Like, I don't want to build, I want to shoot,
building is stupid in a battle royale game. And I got to say, it's funny that you say you don't like all the dead time in a battle royale game, because I don't like battle royale games specifically because it's adopted from a survival MMO, which is inherently slower paced. So I feel like a battle royale game is just a rushed version of that. Like, hurry up, build a cabin, fight. Okay, we're done. I'm like, dude, why can't I just fucking build a castle and wreck everybody around me for a week straight? Why do I got to get off?
By the way, I find it interesting how, and I've said this before, we on Throwdown have a very hard time agreeing on anything gaming related. This is why we can't have a Game of the Year award show, because our picks are too different. We all agree you don't like Battle Royale. It's hilarious. We all agree. Maybe
the worst of both worlds.
Yeah,
I like Battle Royale. The movie, yeah. It's like maybe we have different reasons why we don't like Battle Royale games, but we don't like Battle Royale games. So to me,
I wouldn't mind a Battle Royale game if, like, dude, give me a samurai third-person melee Battle Royale game, like a, not a Samurai Showdown. God, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. The one-hit samurai game.
Bushido Blade.
Yes, boom, Bushido Blade. Give me a Battle Royale version of Bushido Blade, where you like kind of Tenchu style, where you roam the countryside, having clashes with different ninjas jumping out from the trees or like fighting people one-on-one. That's something I could get into. It's just the weird gun thing. Like, guns in a battle royale just doesn't feel like it makes much sense to drive people together into one-on-one firefights. It just seems weird.
By the way,
but
Brett,
now we're talking about it, I really want a third-person melee battle royale.
Moonishin, he says that there's a medieval battle royale game coming out for PC. Interesting.
Oh, see, I might like something like, because that makes sense, because that feels like the Battle Royale movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need to dodge the plague.
I'm gonna, since we've been deviating the whole night, we'll do that because I really want to get your thoughts on the multiplayer guys, Adam, Brett, and and Carlos specifically, right? Okay, you guys like multiplayer games. You like that stuff. Why don't you like Battle Royale? What are your reasons? I'm just going to go one by one. Adam, what's your main reason why you don't like Battle Royale games? Because, again, competitive. You like competitive, so what is it? Yeah.
It just seems boring. Like, whenever I play it, I guess sort of like what you said. It's just a lot of dead time. You got to go and find, especially like PUBG, you got to go find stuff, and then maybe you encounter one or two people. Hell, you could play the entire game and not encounter anyone toward the end if you just hide. And a lot of people do that. They just hide somewhere until they see that it shrinks down to a certain number, and they're like, all right, now I think I can pick some people off.
Hey, that's me and Carlos' strategy right there, man.
Yeah, but besides that, it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. Even the team-based stuff. Me and All Day, we went in there a few times for the Blackout and Call of Duty, and we got on vehicles and we're driving around, and some guy just sniped us from a distance, and it was over. And then we spawned back in and we started shooting at somebody, but it just still felt very short and just not entertaining. Maybe if it was like big brawls, like what Meg wanted to do, big battles, maybe that'll be more entertaining. Even if they did like a roam type of thing, and you just go out there, and you look at the guy next to you and you could see like a row of like 15 real people, real names. Like, oh man, we're all in this. Let's do it. But this survival one-on-one or even the small teams, it doesn't work in these large maps, at least not for me. I don't find it entertaining. That's why I like the Call of Duty aspect of multiplayer, just multiplayer itself, because there's smaller maps. You could run and gun and pop, and respawn, pop. So when you try to do that with these battle royales, most of them don't have respawn. Apex has respawn, but it just doesn't do it for me. Not on that aspect. I'm just not into it.
Yeah, and Carlos, you pretty much said it, but you go ahead and restate it again why you don't like the battle royales.
Yeah, there's just too much downtime. Like I don't mind downtime in games as long as like it's for a purpose or like it serves a narrative. But like in this case, you're just walking fucking miles just trying to find people, and I don't know. It seems like you can definitely cheese in that game and just chill somewhere and wait for most of them to kill themselves and just wait till the end. But that's not fun. Like, I mean, me and Tony, like the only reason. Like me and Tony, usually we played in Fortnite and we played in Apex, and we just waited for like last time we played when we got third place, we waited for what, 30, 40 minutes?
Something like that, yeah. We just got to like the center and just waited there,
And it's like, oh damn, we have to wait so long. We're not doing anything. We're like we're just chatting because it's like there's nothing better to do. Might as well just chat it up and then talk
yeah.
So it's like. Yeah, I like I'm with Adam. I prefer the faster pace, like Call of Duty style, or even going back to the Halo stuff, types of multiplayers where like you're in, you're out, you serve the purpose, you respawn. It's like I don't know. It's just the faster paced nature of multiplayer is what gravitates to me, and I don't know. It just feels like I always talk about how I miss Halo's ranking system. And I feel like most games, most multiplayers don't do that anymore, and especially this game doesn't really serve a purpose to like rankings. Like you can't really tell who's good or not. It's just a lot of times it's luck. A lot of times it's just you have to cheese through the whole game to be decent.
Yeah, and Brett, besides the fact that they're ripping off of DayZ, what don't you like about Battle Royale games?
I mean, I don't have a problem with them ripping off the DayZ. I think the DayZ was ended up being kind of a broken piece of shit that never actualized any of its potential. So it was a good stepping stone, but it did, however, I think Battle Royale ruins the tempo of the game for me. And I don't think that it makes it too slow because I feel like there's kind of a sliding scale. In games like DayZ or open world survival games, there's an element of permanence that adds a level of anxiety. DayZ, for instance, like you've geared up, you found an AK-47, you get to a spot where is prone to have snipers, and there's an open field that you need to get to the other side of. So you can hug the tree line, you can try and dash to the field, you can belly crawl, but it adds this very slow sense of dread. Best I can give it is like the Walking Dead show, or even the comic, wasn't all that action-packed, but it was this slow, constant dread that drove you. And collecting these items and getting geared up, if there was this inevitable double-edged sword of, now I'm a badass with a full ghillie suit and an AK-47, I'm terrified to lose any of my shit. So you kind of become this weird hermit-type creature.
Well, and you know, when we were playing, like, you can drop down into a spot. Like, the map is so big that you can spend the first 20, 30 minutes without even seeing anybody. So it's like, okay, you get into a couple of buildings, you pick up your armor, and this is just Apex Legends. You go into like some buildings, pick up some armor, pick up some weapons, and you're pretty much set up. You're like, okay, I got all the shields, I got the helmet. There's just too many fucking helmets to get. You got your assault rifle, you got your secondary weapon, and you got your shields, and you're just running towards a direction for another 10 minutes, just hoping to find people. And I mean,
essentially like PUBG, though. You know, the same way that works, where it's like you go pick up a bunch of weapons, and yeah.
But Carlos, we also have the flip side. We drop into a map and get killed 10 seconds later. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because you're all just trying to melee each other, and then sometimes some people are lucky enough to have stumbled across a weapon before you do, and they kill you easy. So
see, that's the thing that ruins that slow sense of dread. The fact that you can just get popped and start into a new game means that you have nothing to lose from playing like a reckless jackass. And it also, like, on the timing issue, like, okay, so in an open world survival game, you can cling down on an area of high resources and fend off people that you know are going to attack you, because inevitably at some point in time they're going to need that resource. But they're divided into different tiers. So sometimes, like, you'll need something from the coast or something from the mountains. Things can't all be found in one place, and you can only really have one main area that you bunker down in. So you can command a resource, but then you still have to venture into high danger resource areas. It drives players together in an organic fashion, but it also has a way for you to kind of clink down and get something that you care about. And that gives you a sense of permanence and a sense of urgency. The open world games, the battle royale games, they give you that sense of kind of exploration and finding each other and killing each other, but by doing it in a map shrinking way, they take away all of that permanence. And that's fine in smaller games, but in that type of game, it just makes it feel like dead time, because there's not that looming sense of dread that's supposed to be there, in my opinion. I don't give a shit if I'm just running through a field and get popped playing Fortnite, because I can just start over again. There's no, like, other than the leaderboard, there's not really a point to it. Most of the time, in order to win, you do have to snipe, and that gaming type definitely rewards camper sniper types. So that just becomes a lot of downtime, and that downtime isn't filled with that secondary motivation or that anxiety. And, like, if you do decide to try and hunker down and build something, the map shrinks you out and inevitably pushes you towards the people who have been camping. So it not only does it ruin the pacing, but it actively punishes the best parts of that type of. It's like it took a type of gameplay and built all the worst parts out of it. And for some reason, it really caught on. I don't understand why. I mean, I get it in the sense that maybe I like it better than some of the, like, Gears of War arena shooters, because those things just became like fucking basketball with guns after a while. And so it does feel a little bit more adventure-y than that. But honestly, the very principle of the shrinking circle, I feel like, takes the worst of both worlds.
Well, Brett, and one of the important things for multiplayer games are the map structures and how maps are created. Like, everyone that played Call of Duty remembers Burger Town, or people who played Halo remember fucking Coagulation / Blood Gulch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those maps are like, they're freaking legendary. People remember those to this day. These maps are existed for over a decade, and people still fucking, like, if someone says an announcement, people will fucking cheer for them. And it seems like the way these battle royale games are doing it, they're just not putting too much attention to map structure. They're just getting this huge ass map and sort of artificially forcing people to interact with each other. And it's like you don't really, like, there's, for me, like, there's an art to multiplayer to the way you utilize the map. And you can't really do that with these games because it's just not suited for those types of games. And
yeah, I agree with Carlos, and because those games, the map design was so brilliant that it allowed players you had to meet up with each other, right? Whether it was capture the flag or whatever. But this game, it has to force you with this artificial. The map is shrinking to push everybody to the center and force a fight, right?
But see, that's also what I'm saying. Like DayZ had an amazing map that was based off of real world things, and it was the distribution of loot that made it awesome. There was a running joke, like one of the biggest cities was Chernogorsk, I think it was, and like the running meme was gunshots in Chernogorsk or in Cherno. Like you could hear somebody shooting a fucking rifle from like 12 miles away. So you just hear like crack, 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 crack. There's always gunfire in the city. But it was a high value area where you could actually find industrial equipment. And the big cities were the only places with medical equipment. And I've told the story on the podcast before. Like I was playing with Rachel one time. She fell and broke her leg in a field. I had to actually have a moment where I said, okay, here's my handgun. Fight off any zombies that may come. Try and stay here. I had to run 5 miles through zombie-infected towns and then belly crawl through a city, dodging gunfire and being chased by maniacs with axes and zombies. And then I had to shatter a front window in the middle of the thing, which alerted all the zombies and all the people, grab a bunch of morphine and some splints, and fucking book it back out to the city, back out of the city to find Rachel again, calling Marco Polo the whole time, bandage her leg, and then try and get to the nearest town for rations before we both fucking starved to death. It was an amazing adventure, and it was just because of the map layout and loot distribution. So you don't have to have even like a small map. You can do really cool things with a large map, but again, that fucking shrinking circle fucking ruins it. Because you can't have high value, like you can't have the only med pack in a fucking hospital and then the zone shrinks out of it. It doesn't do the same thing. I couldn't have had that adventure in a battle royale game.
You know what I miss also? Like I keep talking about Halo 2, but like that's my favorite multiplayer game ever. There's this map, and I mentioned it, called Coagulation. It was like a sort of a remake of a Halo 1 map called Blood Gulch. And there's this game type called Big Team Battle, which was I think was 8 versus 8. It was a pretty big map at that time. It was huge, and there's the weapons always spawn in the same spot, so there's always strategy who's going to get which weapon and who's going to get the vehicles and such. But there's also like a rocket launcher at the middle of the map, and this is a symmetrical map, so like there's strategy like. Both teams trying to get that rocket launcher, and it's like it gives like strategy and complexity to a map that's always static. And when it's just changes all the time, like these battle royale games, it kind of it makes you care less about the game. At least in my eyes, it's like, yeah, like the game's gonna keep changing, like. But I always have an excuse of why I lose. Oh, someone was spawned next to me with a weapon, or someone got this weapon better than I did, or I like someone. There's always an excuse for these battle royale games. And when you play games like Halo or Call of Duty, not Call of Duty, not as much anymore, but like Halo 2, it's like you don't have any, like if you lose, it's because you're bad. Not because a random weapon spawned here, or you know how this map looks, you know how this map plays. If you lose, it's because you had bad teammates, or you didn't know how to play this map, or you don't know how to play this game. And that irks me when it comes to battle royale games.
Interesting. I want to read some of the stuff that Glorious War was saying. He said that basically the randomness of battle royale is one of the reasons people like it. He says it's kind of like gambling. You never know what's going to happen. I kind of disagree with that. You know what you're going to get in these games. You're going to drop down from the sky. You're going to start scrounging around for loot. You're going to have to go to the center. It's the same thing. Like, I understand, like, maybe you'll get killed faster sometimes, but there's not really much randomness that I can see. Maybe I'm talking from inexperience here, even though I played that shit. I played enough battle royale games. I know how the fucking shit works. I don't think it's inexperience. It's not random. It's not really, like maybe the loot boxes are random, but that's about it, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling the rainbow, man. Not feeling the rainbow on that battle royale stuff, but I'm giving it a try at least, but I agree with everything these guys said, I don't like it. All right, moving on here. Okay, related. So because of the success of Apex Legends, Adam, I threw this one here for you specifically. Motherfuckers are playing Titanfall 2 online again.
Yeah. It boosted, doubled on Xbox. It went from 5,000 on the server to 10,000. And these are new users. So these are people that are running out and buying it, whether they're getting it on, I think it was on sale for like $5 on Xbox. Maybe that's why it was everyone jumping on it. But I feel like it's one of those things where, let's say you're new to Apex, it's free, whatever you're playing, and then you come across some other guys. Oh, this is a pretty cool game. Oh man, you should have played where it's from. It's from Titanfall 2. They had big Titans. Imagine this world with Titans. What? Yeah, it's $5. All right, I'll be right back. I think that's what's going on. And then hopefully this will put some fire on Respawn. It's like, hey, add the Titans, do something with Titans, because that's the whole thing with Titanfall. It pisses me off when they keep advertising like, oh, this is in the Titanfall universe. The Titans were the key part of the Titanfall universe, not the regular Joe Schmoes running around wall running. We could do that in Call of Duty. There's nothing special. What's special are the Titans. If they would have added Titans to this, I probably would have put more time into it, because I'm like, well, at least there's your change up, running around seeing the Titans. And that's an awesome mode. We played that mode, where you can jump around and hijack other people's Titans and then beat them up and do all that
was
stuff.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's chaos. Imagine if they had that in Apex.
Yeah. Well, you know what I say? Like, I don't care about Titans in Apex. What I want, if this game does well, I hope it makes enough money so these guys will be like, okay, we're going to make Titanfall 3 now. That's what I want. Fuck Apex Legends. I want Titanfall 3. I want the real shit.
Yeah.
I don't want that imitation stuff, Come on. I'm sorry. Apex Legends is bullshit. No wall running, no double jump. Come on, son. Out of here with that,
That's why.
Yeah,
That's why.
Wiggity whack,
That's why.
But yeah, Titanfall 2, again, I hope we get Titanfall 3 because of the success of this game. And the way I'm seeing, I'm like, okay, you guys are making all this money off this game because, motherfuckers buying shit. Give us our Titanfall 3. That's all I'm asking for.
And we know they said they were working on it. They said it. Remember,
they canceled it for this bullshit. Yeah, man.
Yeah, everything was set. And that's why when I saw that whole little director video guides or whatever they want to call them, where they were talking to them, we've been wanting to do this for a long time. We were working on bullshit. I could already see it. EA just said, hey, what do you got that's done from this game that you're working on this time for? Well, we got the multiplayer. Do you got that Battle Royale stuff? Yeah, we got some. Give me that. Let's fucking put that out. We need to put it out because we're leaking money right now. We need to release something now.
The fiscal year's going to end in a month. You got something for
exactly.
us?
Get it out now.
I'm sorry. I know Respawn said that EA didn't tell them, what to do with this. Yeah, they did. Come on.
That's a lie. Come on. We all talked about this. They're up all these developers' asses. What are you working on? Well, don't tell me they were just sitting there. Well, this was something we were doing on the side. Bullshit. You're all fucking fired because you're wasting company money. You're wasting company money. No one told. What else? What's Jimmy over there doing? Well, he's got this new game. You know what? He's fucking fired too because he didn't tell us what he was doing. Stop keeping secrets, you fucking greedy bitches. No secrets here.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So hopefully, fingers crossed, let's get Titanfall 3, All right, and the last two stories here are about Sony. So the first one is that Sony's PlayStation business gets a new president and CEO, Mr. Jim Ryan. And Jim Ryan, I believe he's that guy who said that backwards compatibility isn't important or something like that. I don't really know anything notable about this guy. It's like, okay,
Yeah, like I don't know how long he's been at there.
Yeah, so if you guys in the chat, you can tell us anything notable. The only thing I know about this guy is that he said that backwards compatibility. Actually, no, he specifically said nobody wants to play old games when asked about, that shit.
The thing is, it's not even so much of old games; it's even just previous gen games. Let's stop thinking all the way past tense, like what we were doing with the Xbox. So think about just like PlayStation 4 from PlayStation 5. Yeah, we still want to play PlayStation 4 games on a PlayStation 5. The games are still relevant.
Yeah. Apparently who's clipping their toenails? What the fuck?
That's me playing with a pen, clipping a toenail. Holy shit.
That's what it sounded like. I said Ryan, where the fuck am I reading this from? VentureBeat. Ryan built a reputation after leading the PlayStation brand to dominance in Europe. He oversaw Sony Computer Entertainment Europe for years. He continued as president of Sony Interactive Entertainment Europe before getting a promotion in 2018 to deputy president. So he's been with Sony there. And yeah, they mentioned the whole thing, or like, hey, I went to this Gran Turismo event and I saw the old games. And I'm like, oh my God, those look horrible. Why the fuck did anybody want to play that? But yeah, why? Let's see. It says, why is Sony making this change? Who the fuck knows? But yeah,
It's like nobody wants to play the old Gran Turismo games. Everyone wants to play the real one, the real classics.
Sure, tell that to Nintendo that's freaking showing NES games on their service as the goodies that they get.
Yeah, but they're not taking the games that like, those kind of one-timer games.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. So I mean, we'll see what this guy does, but when I know I mostly threw this in there for the fans because they wanted us to talk about it, but not really much to say,
Yeah, I mean, change your guard, what's his face is doing now. Good luck to him.
Yeah. Oh, Manny. Apparently, he's been working for PlayStation for 25 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, they always keep it in the family.
Yeah, 25 years. I'm guessing he's been there since the beginning. Then, okay, there you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, the previous guy was working at Nintendo at Sony for years too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, this guy's PlayStation specifically. John Codera is focusing on PSN. All right, cool. All right, and the last thing, and Brett, I'm expecting you to go off on this one. Okay, so Shawn Layden, he's pretty much really running all PlayStation now. He is blaming the lack of crossplay on developers, but the developers say, no, it's Sony's fault we don't get crossplay. So it's a game of like blame, who's, like he said, she said. Very interesting. So what do you make of that?
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, damn.
So let me get this straight. If it is developers' fault, they've been able to do it with other games, but not on the Sony platform. So you're telling me that there's something different about the Sony platform that is making developers unable to develop or effective crossplay on your platform. No, I know that's not what's happening. I'm just following the entire line of logic here. So
no,
if
but
you're saying,
I want to say, like, in his line of logic, somehow Epic was able to make Fortnite accidentally crossplay, and where they got a letter from Sony immediately telling them to patch that shit out.
yeah, exactly. So you're telling me, even though that we've seen it happen, it can't happen on the developer side, which, if it were true, would still be your fault because you'd have a repeat of the cell architecture where you have a system that's so convoluted that developers can't develop for your system where they can develop for others. So in your excuse, you're still wrong. And if your excuse doesn't hold out, well, you're definitely wrong. So I'm pretty much seeing the option between like you're wrong or you're a liar, which I don't really care at that point. Both lead to the inevitable conclusion of fuck you.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is what he said. Where am I reading this from? CG Mag. Interestingly enough, when asked about whether or not any future titles would include crossplay, Layden said that Sony was, quote, open for business on that. All it takes is for publishers and developers who wish to permission it. As ever, just work with your PlayStation account manager and they will walk you through the steps that we've learned through our partnership with Epic, and that's how this works. That's what he's saying.
As
they walk you
ever?
out the door.
Did he actually say as ever?
Yes.
Oh, pretending like this shit was happening all the time.
Yeah. So not only like you could have said like we're open to it from the here on being, but just to make absolutely sure you didn't misconstrue that statement as them saying that they're going to change and do things differently, they really want to reiterate that they're not going to do anything different and things are going to be business per usual. That is a huge fuck you. I'm sorry.
How do you know that this isn't that getting this to happen wasn't also something that happens above Mr. Layden's pay grade?
Well, then he's getting paid to lie, and he's getting paid for me to say fuck you. That's his job. If he's a scapegoat, let him scapegoat.
Yeah, and then obviously the developer's like, no, that's not that's not what's going on here.
Yeah.
So
listen, if we can give Reggie shit for fucking lying, we can Shawn gets it too.
Everybody gets it. Everybody gets it on Throwdown, man. That's how it works, But yeah,
I just like how even his bus throwing is unsubstantial. Like, dude, if you think about your own excuse for 5 minutes, you'll realize it's bullshit and makes you look bad. Yeah. That's like showing up to a job interview and be like, "Sorry, I'm late, man. I was busy masturbating." Like, what? That doesn't help anything.
Hey, have a seat. Let's talk.
Yeah, and remember, there's been a bunch of developers that have been calling Sony out. So what is he talking about?
I have no idea. Like that's the weird thing is he's trying to throw shade or sand back at them, but doesn't realize he's just talking shit on his own platform if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because they've been shown that they can do it on accident.
Yeah, exactly. It happened with Fortnite. It's like people realize, like, oh, those are Xbox handles on there. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much saying, whoa. I mean, if they can get it to work, that's great. But as of now, it's been so unstable and predictable that we actually haven't been able to get it to work in anything other than an accidental environment. So don't be hating on the PlayStation. We're just an incredibly unstable system that can't get basic functionality to work. Like, that's your defense, really?
Yeah, Glorious War says, by the way, thank you for the cheers right there, bro. He goes, crossplay is like swinging, and Sony not about that life. Phil Spencer is letting everybody fuck his wife. Damn, son.
Oh,
you crazy. That's a hell of an analogy.
I mean, okay, going with that analogy, that's good for everybody but Phil Spencer.
Yeah, well, that's what he's trying to say. It's like Sony doesn't want that, you know? He doesn't want everybody fucking his wife.
Yeah, well, in this scenario, you're everybody, so you should be kind of upset about that. Weirdly enough.
Yeah. Well, I know Glorious War stance. He doesn't care for crossplay.
I mean, yeah. It's a service. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, companies aren't people. They don't have morality. They should, to a certain extent, be beholden to their customer base and the people who develop products for their platform. That's a really important thing. Like, I'm not saying that you have to bow towards everything that every customer wants. You can't please all the people all of the time. But if you have a large group of corporations working to supply your product or move your product or have ancillary products of their own for your product, you try and work with them, not against them. So the fact that developers are the ones fanning the flames on this, like, yeah, gamers can fan the flames all they want, and after a certain while, they just sound like they're bitching. But when developers chime in, it's an entirely different story. They're trying to bring products to the fans for Sony, and Sony is making that job hard for them. That it casts an entire different context on the situation, which I feel is pretty important.
Yeah, he says he doesn't really care for crossplay because he wants platforms to compete.
I mean, they still will compete, and that's the thing. If there are cross-platform games, then the big competition isn't going to change from, because they're only going to be third-party games, first of all. So first-party games will still be exclusive, and they'll still be system sellers, and third-party games will be incentivized to optimize their game and give you the best experience on, one platform. So, of course, then Sony and Microsoft are going to battle to bring you the most up-to-date, efficient, user-friendly system, because it's not just about the third-party games. And that's the thing. Third-party games, they are already third-party games. Those are really the only ones that would get crossplay. So systems will still compete. I mean, they don't compete via third-party games now. The only way that they do is you can say, oh, blank game runs better on Xbox. And all this will do is continue to incentivize that, maybe more so, because I'll be honest, if you're on PlayStation playing against somebody on an Xbox and the Xbox runs better, it's going to kind of piss you off, because that gives them a slight advantage. It gives them that a slight edge. And that'll probably cause, some controversy in the community, but it will also drive sales towards whichever gaming console runs better and more efficiently, and whichever one game developers are actually developing for. It'll really make it a huge deal if they had, if all of a sudden there's a bunch of bugs on PlayStation that aren't on Xbox. That will make a game changer, and that will make it so that developers are pushed to not let that happen, to make sure that there's parity amongst the systems and that they're stable. That's a good thing for us. I don't see the downside when you really break down the logistics. I mean, somebody please argue with me and tell me why that would reduce competition. I don't see it doing so.
Yeah, I can't give you an answer for that. But then again, I don't really care about crossplay, so can't really think too much about it. I'm like, whatever.
But but that's the thing, though. Yeah. You don't have to care about crossplay, but you do have to care about crossplay. It's a weird scenario. Gaming is essentially an ecosystem, and crossplay acts as a sort of pollinator. Like, it makes the entire ecosystem healthier. It drives competition in terms of hardware and not just legally buying rights to third-party studios. It forces people, forces gaming studios it forces the console makers that if they want to sell their platform, they have to make a good internally made game, which is a game which would not otherwise be made. Third-party games are going to be made regardless. So if somebody buys, every time Microsoft buys a third-party studio, most likely they're going to make a game that they were already going to make. No new game makes it onto the shelf. But when they can't buy, or when it doesn't matter, and instead they have to make a studio and make a game internally, that's a game you wouldn't have otherwise normally see. Like, it's everything about this drives healthy competition. It makes the entire ecosystem more robust, and it's going to drive a better end consumer experience for everybody, even the people who don't care about crossplay. The secondary effects are the things that are going to make the whole situation better for everybody, and that's the important part. And if Brian were here, I'm pretty sure that's what he would be arguing too. It's not just about the games that you play, it's about driving healthy competition amongst the big main companies. And when we're talking about Genesis and Super Nintendo and the golden age of gaming, it's because there was robust, healthy competition. The game companies were battling it out. We want to see that again. This is one way to help encourage that, even for people who don't care.
But I don't know. I kind of disagree with that, though. It's like, if everybody's able to play the same multiplayer games with each other, how is that competing with each other? That's the part I don't
because
understand.
Okay, so like, let's say you're playing a multiplayer game, and I know this is going to be hard because you don't like multiplayer games, but let's say you're playing fucking Division 2, and it's crossplay, right? And it plays at 60 frames per second on the Xbox One X, but it only plays at 30 frames per second on your PlayStation. And so every time you get into a PvP match, they're playing at 60 frames, you're playing at 30. That gives them a clear advantage over you.
You have to.
Is that not going to make you want to play it on your Xbox more when you hear that?
I think if we're going to have crossplay, they're going to make parity. So if one runs at 30, the other one's at 60, they're going to make the 60 run at 30. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to try to keep it all the same. And I think we should go at it from there. If crossplay happens, which I think we all agree it will, we have to assume everything's going to be the same across the board. So
well,
if
no, we don't. It's not that way on PC.
But that's PC. That's a whole other thing, you know.
Like, no, it's about easing people into it, man. Like, yeah, there will be parity, and there has been parity amongst the pro systems, but that shit ain't gonna last forever. And especially when it comes to, am I gonna make my game have parity with, like, Microsoft and Sony will have legal battles whether or not that they have to have parity. One company will be pushing for it, one won't. And that's where some of the money will turn into. Microsoft will have leverage on a game that says, we demand you give us the best possible performance regardless of parity, and we're going to pay you for that privilege so that we can say that this game runs better on Xbox. And Sony will lose the bidding war and say, you know what?
But that hasn't happened. That's never happened like that, unless I'm wrong. You know?
No, but that's the route that we're leading down. You're not going to keep parity. Like, if you get true crossplay, that is the end of intentional parity, and you will start seeing companies pay for it.
Fortnite already.
Is it?
Yeah. You know, remember when people were complaining about the phone version compared to the
yeah,
PC
exactly.
version?
Oh yeah, that's right about that. But I'm talking about, you know, for an actual real system, that's some phone bullshit. Like, I don't believe they're gonna have like a better version. Like, that would like destroy the whole spirit of crossplay, don't you think? Like,
no. To look at it from Microsoft's point of view, you're like, okay, I'm Microsoft, I get crossplay. Now the game is a third-party game, but it runs better on my system. Instead of paying for, you know, exclusivity rights for 9 months and getting a timed release on the second system, I'll just write in there that for my cash, or for my, you know, capital infusion, I get a non-parity clause, which basically says I get top peak performance. I know my system can run this game better than the other system, and I demand you not gimp my version of the game in order to make it parity with this other version. And here's money to make that happen. That is not a hard sell, man. And I realize that's going to piss some gamers off, and we're going to have a little trouble adjusting to that. But from a business point of view, to really come at somebody and say, I demand, now that crossplay is a thing, that you not gimp my game.
But why are you assuming that something's going to have to be gimped?
because the next generation of systems they're going to try and outpower each other. I mean, it's happening right now.
Also, here's the thing. But then that instantly will kill crossplay.
Exactly.
One of them will say, "Listen, you paid so that you have better connection to this network than we do." So,
do you think so? Yeah.
Like,
doesn't Fortnite have crossplay with Switch and Microsoft
and phones? Yeah, but the thing is, like, and Manny, I think I know where you're going with this. I was going to go there too. I'm like, okay, let's say for the sake of argument, Microsoft decides, okay, we're going to pay more money so our game runs better. Somebody could be like, okay, we're just not going to have fucking crossplay. Just get out of that completely.
Yeah, and that makes Sony look like the bad guy.
No, it makes Microsoft look like the bad guy because they're paying for their shit. That's like worse.
It really depends on how you sell it, and it'll bother a lot of us older gamers. It's already happening with younger gamers, man. It's already happening with Fortnite. People don't give a shit that the Switch version runs any different than the Microsoft version. They're just happy to be playing together.
But it's the fact that, I mean, the PC
like
version
you're talking about like it's going to be a big scandal. It's not. It's just people are going to ask it. They're going to say, is there going to be parity amongst versions? And the developers will just say, no, we've decided to put the game out optimized as much as possible for each platform that it's on to give players the best experience with their console.
Here's a question: do you think parity will be a thing? Because it's not with Fortnite right now. No one cares.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think parity will be a thing. And if people try and enforce it, if people try and say, hey, you need to have parity amongst the systems, I don't think the conversation is going to go like you think it is. It's not going to go. The conversation will basically go, so basically you want them to gimp a version of another system's game just so that the multiplayer is the same with this other system? Like, that makes Sony look like an asshole. If Sony really comes to the table and says, look, either you gimp all Microsoft's version of the game or we're not releasing it. Like, that's a dick move.
Microsoft did that shit last gen. Remember, they had
a dick move.
I mean, if you think about it, consoles gimped from PCs, so it's been done forever.
That's also true. But
it's not intentionally gimped. That's the thing. Yeah. You're talking about intentionally holding back the potential of a game because another system can't handle that. And I understand that when it's third-party games made for, economics, but you're not going to get a lot of pushback when people say, no, we optimize the game for each system that it runs at. That's not going to be a hard sell. I think, and that's my point. Like, it's already not a non-issue with Fortnite. I think it's not going to be this big explosion like you guys think that it is. And if crossplay happens, then parity is going to become an important thing in the sense that which system runs better, not in the stance that everybody needs to have the same game, but it's suddenly going to become more important. Yeah. It's going to become very important.
And I think,
go ahead.
I agree with you, Brett. I think Tony's been right that they've done parity, but if we're going to be in this post crossplay world, what Brett's saying is important, because if PS5 becomes the place where these games run at 60 frames locked or the next Xbox, then that's where people are going to go to play them. That's going to be their advantage, right? You're going to want to play on us because we got the game running 60 frames locked, or we have these features and whatnot. It's going to become like that. It's going to become more like PC.
So, and my question is, doesn't that kind of like kill the whole spirit of crossplay to begin with? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, no. It increased competitiveness between the systems, because if you have parity, then there's no reason to play on one versus the other, right?
Well, that's where I was coming at it from. I'm like, okay, if the games are the same across the board, then what is the point? That's where I was coming at it from. So you're saying that, some systems will play the games better, and that'll be where competition comes from.
Yeah, if I was Sony, I'd be like, I want PS5 to run this thing at 60 FPS. You got to optimize it for our system, right? And I don't care if we got to throw money at you or whatever, so that we can market it and say this is PS5 is the place to play Call of Duty, whatever the game is, Apex Legends 2.
Yeah, the Revenge. By the way, I want to quickly bring up something Glorious War said. Sea of Thieves is, because the game has crossplay right now. And Brad, you weren't here for this episode. It's getting disabled because of cheaters on PC. So
yep.
So
what before that's
exactly?
You can't crossplay between open architecture and closed architecture systems. That's just you're going to have cheaters. People have command of a PC system that gives them too much control. The main benefit, in my opinion, of a console is the closed architecture system. And yeah, you can hack it. It's a hell of a lot harder most of the times, unless you mule your save data, which is fucking bullshit on the games that allow that. And I blame the developers. But for the most part, no, I really don't like crossplay. If I can opt out of it, I'm fine with it. But I don't want to be forced to crossplay with PC just because you can run other programs overlaying your game program, and there's nothing you can do about that. There's a reason that aimbots exist in every game. It's not that difficult. It's just another program that does the aiming of the game for you. It takes control of your mouse and aims for you. So the game has no idea other than the fact that you're perfect headshotting everybody. And so it doesn't work. You can't crossplay those. But between systems, sure. And it's PC already has a weird form of crossplay that's been there since the very beginning. Other than Apple, all PCs play together. All the graphics cards play together from the different makers. And there's still a healthy competition for graphics cards. It's just true. What does what and what can do what. And if you're a serious gamer and if you're playing Call of Duty online on your PC every day, are you not going to have a Titan? You going to be gimped like that? You going to be a fucking noob? Nah, motherfucker, you're going to run at 90 FPS, fully cranked, ultra settings all day, man. You're going to set wide field of view so that you can see other people fucking coming up on the side of you. You're going to optimize your experience for competitiveness. And that puts a lot of money and a lot of competition into the PC market. I don't see why it wouldn't be the same with systems.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. It's going to be interesting for sure, man. By the way, Glorious War really wants to debate you, Brett. He doesn't agree with anything you're saying.
I would love that.
We can make that happen, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. Because I think he wants to get on this podcast. We already got enough panels in this motherfucker, man. But we could definitely do a special episode. We could do that anytime, man. He likes you and everything, but he disagrees with most of everything you say. Jot down all the shit you think Brett got wrong, and we can make a whole episode out of that, bro. It'll be hilarious.
I'd love to hear your opinion. I'd love to hear why. I'm assuming that my big question to you would be, if you're going to take anything away and start plotting my demise, tell me how this is going to be bad for the industry, how it doesn't breed competition, how it's going to stagnate things, because I only see good things happening from this.
Here's one. He said, and thank you for the bits, by the way. He goes, crossplay only helps the lesser user base. So I guess maybe that's a bad thing in his eyes.
Well, I don't think it only helps the lesser user base. I think a player boost in any game is always a good thing.
Yeah, it brings everybody together.
Even if it's only
that's the whole point. Boost. We just want everybody together. That way, just like what we were talking about before about the games, it's like, you don't have it on that platform. I have it. Maybe it's on Game Pass. Well, what if we could just scrap all that and be like, hey, let's just play together. Now we have this one app that's probably linked to those games, and now we can play together. There you go, crossplay. Ta-da!
I mean, riddle me this, man. How is a 20% boost to your player base a bad thing?
It's not.
Yeah. Let me see. He goes, Microsoft wants crossplay because they can't compete with Sony on first party and global user base instead of competing in making better games. Okay.
Of course.
It's not them that wants it. It's people that want it. They're doing it, but people have been asking for this for a long time.
Well, that's why Microsoft's going along with it. Absolutely. Yeah. But their motivation is irrelevant to me as long as I get the thing that makes me happy. And that goes for a lot of gamers. It's good for gamers. And of course, Microsoft, Sony isn't going to be pitching this shit when they're top dogging it the way that they are. No fucking way. Of course, it's Nintendo and Microsoft, the ones that are saying this. But there's been enough chime from the community that we actually have made enough big waves that we could push Sony's hand on this. And it's one of the times where I'm like, I feel like that'd be a good thing. Again, even for people who don't care about it. If you don't care about it, there should definitely be an opt-out system. That's fine. But, other than that, if there's an opt-out system, I don't really see the harm that it does.
Yeah. What Mighty Nerdy goes, moving the goalpost. What? I don't understand that. Actually, no, let me. Oh, damn. I got to read this comment. Shout out to Mighty. He goes, Brett sounds like a hypocrite. At first, he wants crossplay, but not crossplay with PC due to cheaters. Cheaters are everywhere, so there should be no crossplay, correct? Moving the goalpost.
What? No. I'm not really following that line of logic. Yes, I want crossplay with everybody but PC. But that's because of the fundamental difference between an open architecture system and a closed architecture system, and the fact that an open architecture system allows you to run concurrent programs from third-party developers or self-written programs that allow you to cheat the system. You can do that technically with consoles, a closed architecture system, but it usually means popping the thing open, installing illegal mods, and getting banned from the system and having your system bricked should they ever catch you, which they usually do these days. So for the most part, one is a cheat-free arena, the other is not, and
not on PS3.
And
I just needed to throw that in.
Right.
Yeah. See, here's what I would love. I'd love to bring PC into the fold, but I'd love for Steam to implement some sort of, and I've said this before, some sort of Steam Gold system where it allows you to run a program that checks for other programs like aimbots and things running on your PC. And if it finds any of those things installed on your PC, it immediately terminates the game.
The EA has that for FIFA. That's what happened with that streamer. He had some trainer that he was running way back, and they scanned his system and they found it. And even though he wasn't doing anything in Ultimate Team, it didn't matter. They found it on the system and they banned him.
I mean, I'm okay with that. If you have aimbots on your system, fuck you. Sorry. I mean, I guess if you're playing them, like, I don't know why you would play aimbots on a single player game. That just seems weird to me. So I don't think that there are many of those people. There might be a couple, so sorry if you get caught in the blast on that one. But for the most part, if you have aimbots on your system, fuck you. You should be booted off Steam. I'm sick of that shit. It's ruined my ability to play PC games, and it's got, like, as people have gotten more proficient with, coding, people have gotten smarter with that. It's not as rare as it was, and they understand how to install this shit. Like, your average user knows about how to use, where to find, and how to install any cheat system they want. They get super pissed at somebody and just fucking rail on them through cheating. Like, it sucks. But until Steam does something that stops that from happening, no, I don't think you should release those people into the wider gaming world. And I'll say something even worse. I do think that you should have certain walls up between certain people. Have you ever played with Chinese people? It's fucking...
Whoa.
There's a huge culture shift there that does not translate well. There's a concept in China that roughly translates to sneaky fox, I believe. And it's the idea that in games and war, literally anything goes. If you can convince somebody you're a 12-year-old autistic girl that doesn't know what they're doing, only to boom, hack their system and wreck them while their system is on the load screen, like, congratulations, you are clever. You have figured out a way to beat the system. We should all thank you. And so you'll see things like people brigading and, like, running 35 people on a 40-person server to just beat down 5 people, because that kind of behavior is considered clever. We in the West consider that kind of behavior unsportsmanlike. So there's constant conflict between Chinese and U.S. servers whenever they open up. And it's not me being a racist asshole. It's a cultural shift. My sister was a Chinese major. Like, we've talked about this at length. There's neither one is right necessarily. It's just a different viewpoint on where you come from. And
I thought your sister was Irish.
She is.
What's a joke?
So it's just, there are certain communities that demonstrate that they don't play well together because their incentives or their ideas are on rules are different things, and that's fine. If companies don't, or certain groups don't play well together, you should separate them. In this instance, yeah, when you're introducing and allowing people who are cheating onto a system that didn't have cheating before, yeah, you should remove that. I don't disagree. So get your shit together, Steam. Join the rest of us. Get fixed so that we can fucking play games together.
One of us.
Yep. All right, man. Let's start wrapping this up here. Okay, so again, we're on the Discords now. So if you aren't already, make sure to join us in the server where we have really cool chats. And also, if you guys like to ask us questions for throwing your questions, that's where we're actually taking our questions now. For the rest of the month, if you still want to leave them on YouTube or Coalition, you can. But starting in March, we're going to take questions exclusively from Discord. So we, on the server, we have a room specifically for the questions. You go in there and you ask us questions. And I'm really happy with the Discords thing. It grew really, really fast. And it's been pretty lively. Me and Carl are always in there chatting with everybody and stuff. Good times, man. A lot of fun we're having in there,
Yeah, man.
So for sure, in Glorious War, I will talk to you there so we could set up a versus between you and Brett. That'd be great. You know, let's do it. It's been a long time since we did a versus here, man. Let's fucking go. You know. By the way, I see him typing something in there right now. Oh man! All right. So let me pull out the graphic for throwing your question. There you go. Same rules as before, but just a little different. So step 1 for asking us questions, you join the Discord. That's important. Step 2 on Discord, go to Throwdown your questions section, and step 3, submit your questions and limit them to 2. And they're got to be about video games too, unless we do a AMA special. Shout out to Subgated for the graphics over there. I think we're gonna keep Thanos here because Thanos is cool.
Yeah, we still got another year of Thanos. Essentially, so
yeah, like he's relevant. He's in the zeitgeist.
He's not in the video game though.
He's not in the video. Well, he's in Fortnite.
He's in Fortnite.
He's in Fortnite. He's in Fortnite. Manny, do you want to say anything special to the people since you're on the road?
Oh no, I'm back and I'm back home now. So so it's all good.
Yeah, we'll have more to say later on about what you're working on. It's relevant to our interests. I could just say that. Very relevant to our interests.
Yes.
Good stuff. All right, so that's it, people. Thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Also, don't forget to join us in the Discords, man. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I'm your host, Tony Polanco. Times joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Later, people.
Brett Murdoch.
See you, everybody.
And Adam Vale.
See you in Division 1. Peace.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night. Me and Carl's going to be playing some Crackdowns. Oh,
yeah. I want to play Crackdown.
Well, yeah, we hate you guys. Well, I mean, we got to take turns because apparently we can't play together, Adam.
Well,
I don't believe that. Really? There's no
Big Mike is going to. Maybe Big Mike is going to join us, so we might have another slot. So
Adam, sure, because apparently it's like it's only 2. I don't know. It's fucking
That's
bullshit.
some bullshit.
It is bullshit. It's supposed to be 4 players.
It's always been 4-player.
Apparently it's only 2-player now. Hopefully these people are wrong. They were just talking shit.
Actually, no. That's the first was 2-player. Second one, they went 4-player with the wingsuits and stuff.
Oh well. Anyway, we'll see you guys, man. Later.
Peace.
Ladies.